Good morning, evening, afternoon, everybody. We hope you're having a fantastic, weekday, weekend, wherever this stream or this video is finding you, either on Twitch or YouTube. Welcome to the Games Done Quick channel and to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. These are either reoccurring shows or one-offs that we have showing off various array of speedrun and speedrun related content. This is Going Places. I like to call it a speedrun travel show where we go around the world looking at region exclusive games, as well as games that we can play on the go on handheld consoles. Now, this kind of season, this kind of series, we've been having a look at the PlayStation family of consoles, the ecosystem. We've been having some PSP runs, we've had some PS1, and I think we've delved into the PS2 a little bit, but we're going to be keeping the PS1 theme going. Later on in the evening, we're going to be seeing Kingsley's Adventure, but before that, we are going to be having some, let me have a look at the spelling so that I can get this right, Boku no Natsuyasumi? I'm gonna say that was all right. That was perfectly serviceable. Just before we get into that, just like to point out that if you've missed any of the other shows or events that we've had, we had Summer Games Done Quick just about a month ago, less than a month ago. You can check out all of the VODs on our YouTube, youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Alrighty. Well, we've got a long run ahead of us, and the vibes are going to be immaculate. So I'm going to hand it over to PS You Love Me and the rest of this lovely commentary team to show us this game that they're going to pronounce better than I will.
I'm PS You Love Me. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to play some Boku no Natsuyasumi. We're going to get right into it, and we'll get more into some explanations in just a second. Right, so go ahead and count it down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. And, with me, we've got Shamana and Tedder on commentary. Two folks that helped me route this game. We all worked on it together, so they're also experts here.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Shamana. I helped route. I'm also a Boku speedrunner.
Yeah, I don't actually run this game because I don't have a PlayStation, but I'm a big Boku fan and, like everybody said, someone who helped to route this particular category. So we should probably explain what this game is a little bit. Do you mind if I go ahead and do that right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Boku no Natsuyasumi is a game that was released in 2000 in Japan, and the title is a pun. It can be interpreted either as my summer break or Boku's summer break, because Boku is the name of the main character in the pink shirt here, and it's also a word that means I in Japanese, so it's kind of a little pun like that. And it takes place in August 1975, and basically the story is that you are a kid who's from Tokyo, I believe, and you're going to spend your summer break this year. I think he's like 10 years old, and you're going to spend it with your aunt and uncle in the Japanese countryside. It's actually a fictional town, but it's based on a real place that I forget the name of.
Yeah, as we get started here, Boku's just arriving with his father and meeting his aunt and uncle and his cousins. Today we don't really have to do a whole lot. I can go ahead and talk while I do this, if y'all have anything to say.
So right now, you might notice that we're flipping between two screens. The whole idea with that is in-game time only advances when you move to a new screen or talk to someone or interact with something. So we're just advancing the in-game time by flipping between the two screens right there. But upstairs, it's at a limit for this very first spot. So we just do that up until the limit, and then we flip downstairs after talking to our uncle, and boom, we're heading into the dinner. And that's most of the first day.
Yeah, not a lot going on today. In fact, we're going to just go to sleep as soon as we can.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the category here. The category is best ending. So this game has about 5 different endings, and the structure of it's kind of similar to like Shenmue or Animal Crossing, where you are kind of free to do whatever you want any given day. There's some timed events. There's a lot of secret content, and we're actually gonna do most of it in the run. We're gonna get 13 out of 15 like story events to happen. And the ending that you get after 31 days of August is determined by how many of those you actually were able to find and do.
Oh. The movement. Boku is a tank control game. So try to do some careful alignment between screens. Doesn't always work out.
Was that an accidental plane inspection?
Didn't. No, actually, that's
No, you have to look at that.
Oh, that's required. I forgot.
Yeah, that's where all the bug stuff is. It's inside that box.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's our job to make sure Boku has a lot of fun this summer. Sham, do you want to talk about the flowers?
Yeah, after today, we're going to start watering the flowers. Today, we don't have to do that, but we're going to get into a daily flower watering, which will last 16 days out of the 31 days that we go through here.
Yeah, it's gonna.
You got to do them in a row, and you can't miss one day, so hopefully we'll be on top of that.
It's going to be a regular occurrence after today.
So this is what we call a skip day. We're just right after breakfast coming straight upstairs, and there's actually a glitch to end the day early. And this is the extent of the any percent category. You just end the day over and over again, as you can imagine. So at the top left of the screen there, the menu is a little bit broken, and you're able to access ending the day early for some reason. Might be just like an oversight or something. And yeah, we can just end the day early. And now we're on day 3, which is a pretty big day for Boku, as we like to say. We're going to be getting the fishing rod, and we're going to be watering the plants. And then we got to go do our first fun interactive story point.
Yeah, this is a really fun one, and it is very interactive.
Yeah, you might have noticed that we're actually mashing through all of the dialogue. But don't worry, this game doesn't actually have an English translation. There's no English voices or text, so you wouldn't be able to read it anyway, most likely.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Unless you know Japanese.
It doesn't matter what language you speak, you're going to miss it all anyway.
Yeah, it's moving too fast. A little bit too fast.
All right.
So the fishing rod is pretty nice. We'll use that to poke a beehive and fish later.
Dude,
And it starts the watering.
we do actually use it for fishing later in the run. It's crazy.
I mean, all the best video games have fishing. Like, they're known fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Sonic Adventure 1 comes to mind.
Amen.
Yeah, the fishing is actually incredibly annoying and a big run killer, so we're going to hope for good luck. We'll tell you when it happens.
Yeah, the fishing system in this game is pretty limited. This is our first.
Oh, yeah, so this is the... Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first story event that we're going to do. We need to help Aunt and Uncle pick the corn in the cornfield. It's delightful.
I love the music for this part.
Yeah, it's a little tricky because this is where movement really comes into play, and being on the tank controls, it is not as easy as it looks to just grab some corn.
Also, the hitboxes.
A little hard to tell if you're walking into walls or not, too.
The hitboxes on the corn are all over the place as well.
So we should talk about like how we routed what to do on each day. So basically, some events only happen on certain days, and I think this is one of them. I think this only happens today, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this one only happens today.
Yeah.
So there's kind of 2 different kinds of events. There's, like I said, this game doesn't tell you anything about how to play it. Basically, we had to look up obscure guides on the internet to figure out how to even achieve this ending, let alone route it. So there's 2 things. There's things that only happen on one day, like this, And then there's things that like have a kind of a start and end date, and you can kind of activate them at any time between, the start and end date. And we we've sat down over like a few sessions and just kind of like on a calendar try to consolidate as many things as possible on as fewest days as possible. So you're going to see some days where we kind of do nothing, and then you're going to see some days where we do like 5 different things, and that's pretty much intentional.
We have our first encounter with the beehive here, and that's why we needed the fishing rod as early as possible. You can, oh, never mind.
Yeah, so we have to...
We're talking about bee skip?
Oh, just, we need to come back and poke this beehive for 4 days in a row. It's going to be our current objective right now, basically.
Yep. And if you don't do it, you actually miss out on a special event. And the game doesn't, the game just kind of trusts that you're going to explore and find it. It's like that with a lot of stuff. You could play this whole game and experience basically none of it if you're kind of not looking for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Should we like list out the different quests we're going to do in this run?
We can, I think we've got a little time now to kind of go through some stuff.
Yeah. Sham, do you want to like synopsize each one real quick?
I mean, we'll definitely get to them as we get there, but we can talk about the next few ones coming up. Like this beehive, much like the watering, you got to do it every day. And like Tedder was saying, you can't miss a day because then you get locked out of doing a story event. So you'll find there's a theme of that going on where we have to do things a couple days in a row to make sure you don't miss out on any story, because it almost feels like a lot of things are hidden, or not even hidden, but like just like hard to make sure you get done because there's just so much you can do in the day and you might forget one thing or whatever. In a casual playthrough, you probably, would miss out on maybe even more than half of the content in the game.
Yeah, it is really the kind of game where, the more you really kind of have to replay it or follow a guide or something to be able to see everything. But as you kind of play the game, you do kind of learn the character schedules and stuff like that. It, does kind of help, paint the picture to figure out what you need to do. But it's still very, very cryptic.
Yeah, for anyone who wanted to play this casually, don't worry. We're actually, in my opinion, the best quest, which I won't even tell you the name of it, so I won't spoil it, is the one that we don't do because it takes too long. So yeah, we'll leave that one for you guys to find. Good luck.
Right, there are 15 total of these major events. We only have to actually get 13 of them. So the 2 that we cut out are very fun and interesting. But also we have not figured out how to make them fast, so we don't do them.
Do you want to talk about the characters a little?
Yeah. This is your cousin Shirabi, and you're going to do 2 quests with her. You get 2 story points from her, and you can only do it on the specific days that she arrives for them. So like this is day 4, and behind the scenes we're actually keeping track of every single day. So like we know that it's August 4th today, and we know that today we walk out the front gate to go meet with her.
Bye Shirabe.
Yeah, bye. We'll be back. We'll see her in a minute.
We just ditch her for a little bit casually here.
Yeah, we have to go keep with our schedule of poking the beehive.
I don't think we covered bee skip. So PS is actually kind of doing a small movement optimization every time he pokes the beehive, where you can interact. There's a cutscene when Boku first finds the beehive where he like kind of goes up to it and is like, what's this? But we're completely skipping that because you can actually interact with it from further away than that cutscene can be triggered. So if you press circle on it, it just completely skips it. Saves a little time.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, we're going to catch up with Shirabi here in a second. and we'll finish out this little story event.
You remember what she's talking about here? I completely forget.
I don't remember specifically what she's talking about, but they are picking honeysuckles here, and so they both going to have one.
I think at some point she says my favorite flowers are sunflowers.
Yeah.
That's like an important story point.
Yeah, on this next screen, they're going to go take a picture in front of a little patch of sunflowers. And at the end of the game, we'll actually get this picture, be able to take a look at it.
I suppose we should also go over like the story. Like I gave the premise, but we forgot to mention that like this family, what was it? They had a brother who died, I believe. I can't remember what the actual details were.
Yeah, it's been a few years since their oldest son passed, and so Boku spending the summer with them is, bringing back a lot of memories for him and all that.
Yeah, like you're sleeping in the dead brother's room and everything, and I think you might even be wearing his clothes.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, that got deep quickly.
Yeah, this game is very it's very deep like that. It's
sort of
got a lot of emotion in it.
Yeah, it's an emotional game. I mean, they don't really like try to hide the facts, like that fact either. They talk about it pretty openly. So
Yeah.
I guess that's quite refreshing, and like everything else about it seems so heartfelt as well. It's, I don't know, it seems special.
Oh, we should say who these pixels are.
This is Guts. This is our first encounter with Guts. He's the leader of a gang that we'll meet later. We'll be seeing him quite a bit throughout the run.
Yep.
Yeah. I should tell you what they're actually saying here. So basically, like we caught him doing something he shouldn't be doing, and Boku kind of hides behind the sign there, and then he's about to like discover us, and then that wolf. He hears the wolf and then leaves for some reason.
Huh.
And Guts is stealing watermelons from the watermelon patch.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Oh.
And you can actually find the watermelons that he steals. We don't do it because it just doesn't do anything, but there's a lot of little story threads like that this game just kind of lets you discover, and that's one of them. If you're playing this casually, you'll probably find the rinds of the watermelons that he ate, and then you discover him the next day. It's kind of cool. There's so many little moments like that with this game that we are gonna completely skip over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like if you visit the overpass early, you'll see that.
Yep. Well, yeah, and so we've done everything we need to do for the day, so time to go to sleep.
So kind of interesting, but that wolf howl you heard actually becomes important later for something that we're not going to do.
Yeah,
True.
That little cutscene is a lot of foreshadowing in one little thing. It's pretty cool.
And on to day 5.
Yep. This is
Sorry,
go ahead, Taylor.
No, you can do it.
I was just gonna say today is another day we're gonna get another event that's on a fixed day. Today we're gonna go see the fireflies at night.
Ooh,
we only have one day to be able to do that, and that's today. So, yeah.
Yeah, the whole game, your uncle is telling you like, well, I think before this point, he tells you like, don't go to the swamp because it's dangerous. And if you try to go to the swamp, he like stops you. Like he comes and like says like, nah, you're not supposed to go here. But there's one night, which is tonight, where he's not around, so you can go there and see all the fireflies. And there's a pretty song that plays too. We're gonna hear it in a second.
Okay.
And then
in a minute,
tomorrow at dinner, he's like, "Oh, hey, I hear there's some fireflies," and it's too late for you to actually get them or see them.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
You got one shot, one opportunity.
Well, we've done the routine. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
keep looking over at my tracker to make sure I actually watered the flowers.
I hope chat is taking this all in. This is you are learning the speedrun right now. If you don't know the routine by the end with watering the plants and and angering the hornets, then
Do not
what
do
do?
that in real life.
Yeah.
So right now, a lot of flips between screens are happening. We're just moving the in-game time forward because after a certain amount of time, your uncle will come out and come bring you back home for dinner. And it's basically like a warp home. But we need this dinner for story to advance. So we're going to go eat dinner tonight. Otherwise, we could skip it and make the day end faster. But there's going to be a couple cases in the run where we have to have the dinner in order for flags in the game to allow us to continue.
Oh, neat. Okay.
It is interesting that it's a glitched run, but it kind of, the glitch just kind of feels like a game mechanic. But it really can mess up your story if you skip dinner.
I suppose we can talk about like the dinner system that kind of inadvertently exists in this game, where it's like what the family talks about. There's like a whole.
Next is a queue. So it's like once you've done a story thing that would result in a dinner, it acts as your next dinner. So you could push that dinner off by glitching the day and not having that dinner. And then if you get another dinner, it's basically just stored in a queue of dinners that you'll get. And then the following day, you'll get that next dinner if you can do it. Sometimes dinners will be overwritten by other dinners. There's a little bit of madness with it.
Yeah, we had to play the game like several times to like all the way through to like fully figure out how each dinner conversation works, because we actually have it planned what we're going to talk about. Like in the route, we have it routed down to the day what they need to talk about at every dinner. Oh, there's the fireflies. Hope you like them.
My fireflies.
Is that?
That's all the exposure to them.
That's all we see of them. Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to enjoy them for too long.
Goodbye, fireflies.
Yeah, that was a pretty fast turnaround too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that counts as technically having seen the fireflies, so we will get completion marks for that.
They were there.
Interestingly enough, like there's no way in game to check which events you've done. You just gotta know. It does not tell you to the very end of the game, post credits.
Yeah, Tedder and PS actually behind the scenes did a bunch of nice work setting up some scripts to allow us in emulator to see exactly when certain story flags would happen, and also other information like the in-game time and whatnot. Really, really useful for testing and routing. So I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, we got a little HUD put together on the Speedrun resources section that is, helpful for routing.
So because we stayed up late and watched the fireflies, we oversleep there, and we are kind of late waking up there, and Shirabe comes and gets us.
Yeah, we actually miss out on something that we've been skipping the little cutscene video for, is morning aerobics. You would be doing that every morning, but because of sleeping in, you miss it just that day.
Right, yeah, you
can actually earn it back in another day, but we won't talk about that quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is you can actually just like skip the morning aerobics if you like go to bed too late, just normally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I forgot about that.
And so, like, unless you actually go to bed on time, you won't. Actually, today's the 6th. We're not going to do anything today. But yeah, if you don't go to bed on time, you won't see the morning aerobics cutscene. But we're skipping it anyway, so bummer.
Yeah, there's like a really adorable opening cutscene every time you wake up. I recommend looking it up on YouTube because it's really charming. Everyone like there's roosters crowing and everyone, like the whole family goes outside and they do like radio calisthenics. It's really cute.
Something you may have already noticed, when PS goes to save the game there, it'll display crayon art of what Boku's day was like that day. So Boku will pick something out of what he's done that day, and then it'll be the art. It won't be random. It'll usually be based on what you did. Even if like you did two things, it'll pick one over the other. But it's really nice to see all the different kinds of art, and you can have so many different kinds of art throughout the days. Really nice to look at.
Yeah, there's like 30 different drawings that he does, or something like crazy like that.
Might be more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something like 50 actually, because there are a bunch of different ones that can come up for days where you don't do anything.
Wait, was that a butterfly that you needed?
Yeah, I probably should have caught that, but well, we got plenty more days watering the flowers.
Yeah, we got plenty of days.
Okay, needed is not really correct. Basically, there's going to be a mini game later where, well, catching bugs is part of this game, and you'll see we're actually going to battle them against the other kids, which we haven't met all of them yet. We met Guts, but there's some other kids.
Yeah, we have some very fun stuff coming up.
Yeah, so basically, there's like 30... How many different bugs are there in this game?
There are 60.
There's 60 bugs. And if you catch all of them, nothing happens. The game just says good job, basically. But some of them are beetles, some of them are like crickets, there's butterflies. You can trade your bugs with other kids, with the other character, the NPCs, and like sometimes they'll give you like a strong beetle, and then you can battle the beetle against their beetle. You'll see, we're going to do a lot of that.
So here we have Mo, our cousin.
No.
It's not Mo?
Moe.
Oh, Moy.
Yeah.
I thought it was Mo.
No. It's spelled the same as Mo, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I see where that went wrong. We have a lovely picking flowers mini game here that we got to do, and this will get us a story point for Mo.
Yep.
She's going through a hard time, and she's kind of starting to open up to Boku. So we're helping her pick the flowers so she can press them. And I don't know if we're actually going to see it, but you actually can see the pressed flowers after you do this. I think we're going to end the day, so we're not actually going to see them.
I think that was a suboptimal talking angle.
Yeah. You really want to try to line up and talk to her where she's like turning as little as possible, but also you want to line yourself up to move to the next batch of flowers.
It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it doesn't
it's so inconsequential.
It's small.
There's
a lot of RNG that kind of outweighs stuff like that, but
it's the
worth knowing.
Any minor optimization can help ease the pain of all the RNG that comes later.
Yes.
And also just like how fast your PlayStation feels like reading the disc at any given moment.
Yes, that is also a concern. Sometimes it just decides this load's going to take 30 seconds.
Really? There's 30-second loads?
Hey, it's closer to like 15, actually. But there's sometimes...
I think I have actually seen that.
I've had some insanely long load times, span from anywhere from like 1 second to a couple minutes, and then it finally comes back. But that could be a problem with the disc.
I think it might be.
Yep.
I mean, this game's programmed kind of... It's a bit of a hack upon a hack upon a hack, I think.
And yeah, in between days, I'm managing a little tracker on the side just to keep track of what day it is. It is pretty important to know like what day it is at all times, so it's something I'm just managing on the side here. Today we're not really doing much of anything. We're just going to come water the flowers and then go back to bed. But tomorrow, the 9th, is going to be another big day for Boku.
Mm-hmm.
When do you get the axe?
Tomorrow, yeah. 9th.
We could get the axe if we waited till noon today. But we don't want to waste the time advancing in-game time today when we could just pick it up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It does make the route a little bit tight. If once we have the axe, we need to use it every day. And if we miss a day in this route, then the run's over, basically. We won't get the best ending, but usually not much of a concern.
Yeah, everything's pretty tight schedule on this. But yeah, big day here. Watering the flowers and getting the axe or leaving out the house.
Yep, yeah. Remembering to pick up the axe. So easy to forget.
How old is this character supposed to be?
Boku is 8.
He's 10? Oh, he's 8? I thought he was 10 years old. Yeah, no. Do not let 8-year-olds play with
I was about to say, axe-wielding 8-year-old is a scary thought.
Yeah.
It was the 70s. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. Similar times.
Yeah, I don't think Uncle saw us pick up the axe. I think we'll be okay.
I think later in the month, he's like, hey, I swear I put my axe up. Where did it go?
Yeah, there's like a few gags like that where like you do something and he comments on it not knowing that it was you, and then he just says nothing. It's funny. Oh yeah, so do you want to talk about why we need the axe?
Yeah, I can mention that. So starting today, we're gonna start cutting down a tree. It's gonna take 5 days of going back to chop the tree one time per day. Boku's a puny kid, can't handle more than one swing a day. It's okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that 5 times, and then that's gonna open up the next area of the game. And we're going to pretty immediately take a trip down there to get another nice event point with Shirabi. It's also a really beautiful area, probably one of the more iconic areas of the game.
What's going on in this cutscene?
I don't actually remember.
I think it's just Guts showing the base and being like, yeah, this is where we hang out and we ruled the area kind of thing.
Is he like flipping a coin in his hand there, or is he just like posing in a cool way?
He likes to hold his hand like that. I don't know.
I think the implication is that he's like tossing like a coin up in the air like repeatedly, but I might just be imagining that. That's just how I picture it. These PS1 games, you got to use your imagination a little bit.
It's a good fan theory.
Will be our first encounter with the big fish.
Ooh.
Jumbo.
Is that his name, or did we come up with that?
Yeah, Shirabi calls him Jumbo.
Oh, right.
Good name.
It's been a few months since I've like watched runs of this game. I don't remember every detail.
He watched me do one today.
That doesn't count.
Here we go. We're going to take our first swing at the tree. And we're done.
I was about to say, if that kid was about to just chop down that tree, like, all immersion would have gone. Never mind the glitching a whole day's passing.
Oh, he will chop it down, but not right away.
Something that I want to mention here to talk about the in-game timer again. As you get further and further away from the house, the in-game timer actually takes longer in between each phase, between each screen. So if you're really far from the house, it can take 9 minutes between 2 screens, and if you're further away from that, it can be 14 minutes or something. But yeah, the further you are, the longer it'll take. So it'll move your in-game time faster as you're far away from the house. But if you're really close, it'll only move 4 minutes at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever we're way out there at the tree, time is moving at, I think that's 12.
That's a 12er?
It's either 12 or 9. Either way.
I think that's a 9er.
At the bug catching tree?
No, the tree chop.
Oh, the tree chop. Okay.
I want to say you only get 12s near the secret waterfall, like the oasis area.
That's probably right. Regardless,
even
more or
the
less
mountain.
the math works out basically the same for the number of flips you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you stay out too late, your uncle just comes and get you. I think his name is Yusaku. I don't remember.
Yeah, Yusako.
Huh?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yusaku.
Oh.
I don't remember the aunt's name though.
It's Kaoru.
Oh, right. I'm always skipping the text when I play this game or when we watch this game, so.
They don't often say their names either.
Yeah. Oh, we got a butterfly?
That's pretty high up.
That is very high up. Boku's,
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually in reach.
The net is magic.
Oh, no.
You got it.
That is the magic net. Hey, you know about the net more than me.
I've done
The
a...
bug catching master has logged
I thought that was
on.
going to be like in the foreground or something.
Right.
Sometimes like it'll look like the butterfly is right next to you, but it's just in a completely different spot. The pixels will be a little bit of a fool sometimes.
I want to point out that PS is actually playing this on a real PS2 on a CRT, so how he's seeing these tiny bugs, I have no idea.
It's like 13 inches. It's pretty small.
Yeah, the bugs are random, like which bug you encounter on which screen, but it's not like completely random. It's like certain bugs show up in certain spots, and as like the days go on, which bugs you can catch will change.
Yeah, so basically for bugs, there's like 3 different like times of day that determine which bugs will appear on a screen. And then there's also like 3 periods of 10 days that divide the month into 3. And so that also controls which bugs you'll see. There's also a luck system, which controls...
Did you water the flowers today?
The size
Sorry
of
to
the bugs.
interrupt.
I believe I did.
Okay.
I'll mark that.
Yeah. I believe you did. It just wasn't on the tracker that only we can see.
Right.
Yeah, we've got like a little app pulled up on the screen that like has like a checkbox for did you water the flowers every day and some other info on it.
Oh, please, Boku.
Contending with the mushy PS2 controller D-pad. The controls, yeah, go ahead.
So when you, Boku does like the full turnaround when you hit down on the D-pad. But if you press it too early after entering a screen, it won't do it. So that happens a lot during these times where we're flipping back and forth a lot.
You cannot buffer inputs through loading screens, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. There are 2 buttons that make Boku run. And so generally, like when I'm transitioning between screens or doing an action, I'm holding one and tapping the other so that way it registers as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the controls are
up these
slightly
stairs.
different.
You need to be holding the left trigger, I believe, and hitting X at the same time.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's a little different from Resident Evil controls. Like you don't have to press up to move forwards. There is just a run button that you just press and he runs, and you just steer with your left hand. It's actually a lot nicer, and it makes me like actually like the controls. Like everyone complains about.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone complains about tank controls in games, but it works really well in this one because you don't have to use diagonal inputs to run and turn at the same time.
This is a big day. Pluck. We have to pluck the dog, which is very sad. We're going to have to be a little mean to the dog, and then we're going to have to give that to the uncle and water on top of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
And then there'll be even more. It's going to be a very big day.
It's funny.
Yeah, so the conversation they just had was about, I think that was Boku telling the family that oh no, that was last night. Last night he told everyone that he saw that big fish, and we skipped the cutscene for it, unfortunately. It's a cool cutscene. And then the uncle says, I bet you'd need some sort of hair lure to catch that. And Boku's like, okay, and then just plucks a hair out of the dog.
Wow, savage.
Yeah, it's true. Uncle kind of hints at you. He's like, if you had some dog hair, you could make a lure. I wonder where you could get that. And Boku, yeah. Boku gets an idea from that. You as the player.
Uncle is always telling Boku things he shouldn't do. which is such a bad idea because Boku just immediately does them.
Like, you just saw us give the dog hair to the uncle, and he's like, "Where'd you get this?" Oh, whatever. I'll make the lure.
So, worth mentioning right now is that Uncle Yusako is he's a potter.
Ooh.
And so this is a pottery workshop right there. That was a big, rare butterfly.
Yeah, that was sweet. That was sweet.
So I've done a good number of all bugs runs for this game, where you just catch all the bugs. And so I do have a pretty decent knowledge of where the bugs are then. So that's helpful for this run in some cases because we're able to trade like valuable bugs for other bugs later in the game. So we're going to want to take advantage of that, and stocking up on some valuable stuff right now will help.
John, do you want to explain the shortcut that we just took?
I guess the only thing that's really to it is that it uses a little bit less in-game time, and it's just another path out of the house. But if you continue on with that way, it goes to where we saw the fireflies, and then there's just like a couple screens after that, and then it dead ends at a little stream area, which is really pretty, by the way. It's a very beautiful area over there. But we unfortunately don't go over there, and we'll just use that path to head to this shortcut that lets us get to the overpass. You'll see us on the shortcut a few times.
Yeah, we try not to use it as much just because it takes a little bit more real time to get out here. If you take the shortcut, it's not really a shortcut.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on your perspective, I guess.
Yeah, it's shorter for IGT, but longer for RTA, so it's kind of a weird trade-off.
So you just saw us meet the other two NPCs, Fat and Glasses. Those are their names.
Guts, Fat, and Glasses.
The whole gang.
The kid is literally, his name is Fat. That's just his name. And there's like a Metal Gear Solid style in-game explanation for why that's his name. And I love it because he says that a foreign kid once pointed to him and went, "Oh, fat," and then people started calling him that. So I think that's pretty great. And then, by the way, like, it is like the English word fat. It's not like fat in Japanese.
It is very funny to hear them pepper his name into sentences.
Yeah.
But so we're actually going to hit the Jesus statues here. This is a luck mechanic. We want to have as many heads facing to the right as we can. The luck mechanic doesn't affect, it affects a lot of different things in the game, but most relevant is that it affects the bugs you catch. So we're about to go try to catch some beetles on a tree out here, and having a better luck from the Jesus statues there improves your odds of finding bugs. The exact way it works, I couldn't tell you, but it does improve your odds of finding beetles, and it also, like, rare bugs outside of beetles will show up more commonly, and generally everything will be a larger size. The better your luck is for the day.
Wait, is that a really good one?
That is a female right now. Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Go ahead and do another couple checks.
Every time we're doing this, it moves the IGT forward, so we have to be kind of careful about how many times we kick the tree.
Yeah, we need to...
We don't want the dinner.
Yeah, we really do not want to have dinner tonight, exactly. All right, we're done with this. I think we're just going to go ahead and go home.
What's the calculus here? Like, how many kicks can you get away with? I think you're at exactly the limit right now.
I don't exactly know how many kicks you can get away with. It's like the first time you see that it has turned afternoon is generally when you want to go. You can do like 2 or 3 more, but after that it's over.
Yeah, it's basically, we've routed the movement in this game. Like, every single screen transition is routed. Like, we take the exact same path every time. The only thing that can get away with that is that if we The only thing that's kind of flexible is the sumo fighting. We might do sumo like 2 times one run and then 3 times the next run. We might go back an extra day or 2 here or there, or catch bugs an extra few times. But other than that, it's like extremely tightly routed.
Yeah.
The only thing that we could really mix up a little bit is watering the flowers. It could be at the later of some points of some days, but it's just easier to just do it right at the beginning of the day so you don't forget.
And I guess I should mention we just kind of went right past it, but I did just go ahead and go back and poke the beehive, and the bees got mad and attacked Boku, and then he passes out and wakes up on the porch. So yeah, it's a quick way home.
Yeah, we call that bee warp. And today is the rest day. So I'm going to ask that we all take a moment to rest. So if you have the ability and you're not like in the middle of something, take a moment to rest and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some water. Well, that was lovely.
Yeah, that was nice.
And that was actually a pretty good one. The bugs that appear on that screen during that cutscene, it's basically like you are actually on that screen in the game, and so the bugs spawn just normally. So we got a pretty exquisite close-up of that butterfly, and that definitely isn't guaranteed to happen.
Yeah, nice screens.
So what actually is that cutscene?
Well, so the monk is there to help have a day of remembrance for their lost son. And so he's, more or less leading them in a prayer.
This is also a very exciting day because I believe we're going to start sumo today, huh?
Yeah, we're going to go do that right now.
This is what I consider the most exciting part of the run. You get to do some battling with some unique little, basically random fighting with some stat points on top of it. There's some RNG, but then there's some better bug picks. There's some stats that level up. There's a little bit to it. This is a fun little side thing in the game that can unlock a whole lot more.
Yeah, so we pretty much need to not only do this minigame, we need to win 45 times, and then there's 2 bosses that we need to beat in order to get the best ending. So yeah, there's like matchups for these different beetles, and there's a trading system.
And this is Beetle Sumo.
This is Beetle Sumo.
Let's
What's
go.
kind of cool is that each bug also has special moves, and they're actually, in the official guide, they're named after real sumo wrestling moves.
That's great.
So we don't really have a lot of influence over what the bugs do once we hit go. But the one thing we can do is give them a few taps on the back to make them angry, and that, in theory, should make them do their special moves more often. Doesn't always work out because it is just RNG once we hit go, but there's some truth to it. That it does make them more aggressive and do the moves you need. So to get the best ending, we do need to complete this sumo tournament. Also, if you were trying to get all the bugs in the game, you also need to complete the sumo tournament because there are bugs that are locked in an area that you can only access when you have finished this.
It's funny, I can't remember just how long ago it was, but I remember coming across a I believe it to be a DS game that is basically just this. It is just like bug sumo wrestling. Which, yeah, it's nice to see it make an appearance yet again. Even if I haven't managed to get that game on the show, we've managed to get it in some capacity.
Oh,
That's rough. So we've got this little guy here. He's not going to be much of a challenge.
Is that the
here.
best we have?
Yes, we've only got the 2 beetles right now. I think we did take out a larger sawtooth, so we might be trading for that right now.
I would go for the trade immediately. Yeah.
This is such a waste. Yeah, 66 is fine. So yeah, this is why we picked up a couple of bugs, is because there is this trading system that's much better.
Nice.
But there's a little bit to this. Like there's 3 different classes that you can fight. Like you can fight a weak bug, a strong bug, or a king. And if you don't like your opponent, you can like switch to a different class and hope to get a different one, which is what we just did. But only actually if you choose the weak class, even if you win, you actually don't level up from it. So
it is a way to train your bugs, but not advance the game, I guess.
Was that your 6th one?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or wait, no, you do level up I'm sorry, I misspoke. You do level up, but it doesn't count towards the 45 wins you need to unlock the first boss.
This is rough.
Wow, a flat back. That bug is difficult to face.
So I don't feel like we have a very good matchup against this guy right now.
Try your best.
So we're going to trade for this little Oni Sag and spice him up a whole lot and hope he does some magic. No dice.
Ooh.
What's on the king class right now?
I've already done the king.
Oh.
So you can only actually do 1 king fight per day.
Forgot about that.
And we took an easy one.
Nice.
Should win here, though.
This is going to be a close match.
I feel good about it. Bam.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh. Hey.
So we're really trying to get to 10 wins today.
I didn't notice how many levels, how many wins did this guy have when you traded for him?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So when you trade for a bug, it doesn't transfer the experience, right?
No, it doesn't.
So we want to make sure to get this guy a level.
I think most...
Yeah, it's been 4 before this fight since. So if you just subtract by 4 since 27, then 23, I think.
So we've won. I forget how many times you need to win with the bug to level it up.
I believe 5,
That's
but it could be 10.
It changes depending on the level. Like it's programmed into the tracker, but it only works. I didn't program it to work for multiple bugs.
So for like the way the kind of sumo story progresses, or not story, the way the tournament, I guess, progresses is the more wins you have, it increases a sort of invisible level. But that's sort of your level cap. And every day after you raise the cap, you will actually gain another level.
Is it per bug or is it just for the whole player? Like, is that just your player level?
Like, it doesn't matter. It's not per bug. It's every bug. Like,
why did I think it was per bug? Am I just stupid? It's been a while since I
Wow.
That was a good one.
wrote this level counter.
As an active bug, the back taps were definitely working out there.
So it's important that we get to at least 10 wins today. Ideally, I'd like to get to 25. So that we, 10 is going to be the first level, and then 25 will be the next one. And that just means that every day that we come back or we go try to catch more beetles, we'll have more beetles available, we'll have more opponents available, stuff like that. And of course, it just counts towards those 45 overall wins that we need.
Seems to be pretty good luck so far.
Something that got brought up earlier, but we ended up talking about something else right after because something was happening in the game. We do bug trading, and catching the butterflies earlier acts as basically currency to trade for better bugs. So like some of those really, really nice butterflies you get that are very large can be traded for extremely good bugs because they have high value in the trade system.
Right, I managed to catch that like green and black butterfly. Sorry, I gotta count. I managed to catch that green and black butterfly. It actually is a like big, quote unquote, it has like a big indicator on it. And so that thing is going to be worth crazy money. Wow, that's
that damage
really
was nice. That flatback almost pushed you off too. That was nice.
Oh, beautiful, perfect. So yeah,
that's basically best RNG for a fight.
Right.
Because it's really fast.
That's like the real like incredible sumo runs I've had, like are just like one of these guys that just decides to push every single opponent. You can really fly through it like that, but you're really not guaranteed it.
This is the sawtooth beetle, by the way.
Yeah, just a standard sawtooth.
We're facing a Miyama beetle. This is a better pusher, so he could push us off. So we just gotta hope that that happens.
Nice.
Yeah, that Miyama beetle's pretty good. We actually do want to find one of those early on.
In fact,
it's
I
okay
might
if you
even
don't.
suggest trading for that one if you can.
Nice push. Nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of undecided if I want to trade for the flatback or the Miyama right now. I think honestly, wow, this guy's really rocking.
The flatbacks might scale up in value and could be worth getting. You keep leveling them up.
That's true.
You can get like a better flatback right after.
This is peak athletic performance right now. We're seeing a professional at work right now. We gotta give it up for this beetle.
Wow. Yeah, this beetle's actually putting in some work right now.
Don't mess with this guy.
So we're at 22 wins right now. Not bad. We can just get the 25. I'll feel good. And we only went and looked for beetles once so far. I was kind of hoping we could get by with the ones we got and then make a trip back in a couple of days to grab more. We'll probably do that tomorrow, assuming it's a good day to do that. Yeah, it looks like tomorrow's fine.
Yeah. You can probably do a little extra hunting too because you want the dinner, right?
Yeah, we need the dinner tomorrow.
Yeah. Nice pushes.
Yeah, this guy's really a pro. So yeah, generally like, my sawtooth beetle here is 66 millimeters. Our opponent here is 71. That means he's going to have a pushing advantage, which is why I'm tapping mine. So that way we'll definitely get a special move out of him and be able to take this guy. So when you get to 25 wins, you do see a king-size beetle come in. So that is confirming that we've done 25.
Oh. Is that the same every time?
Yeah, I think so. Not the exact beetle, but the fact that it comes in as a king at 25.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was sick.
Are the smaller sawtooths like more aggressive or something? Is that how this works?
I mean...
Could just be the taps.
Could be the taps.
Could be hidden stats. I don't know.
And yeah,
the beetle's putting in work.
There are a lot of hidden stats for the beetles. We haven't quite deciphered how everything works, but like, so, it seems like you catch two beetles off a tree if they're the same size. You caught them back to back. One could be inherently better than the other. So we don't know how these sort of initial values work, but
I do know, like I was able to reverse engineer with PS and I. We did it together, like the struct that contains the info for each beetle, and there's actually only one stat that there's only one memory value that it stores its strength in, but everything else could be calculated from. There's probably multiple stats that are computed from either like age or like when you caught it, how big it is, what species it is, stuff like that. So that could factor into how strong it is. We just don't quite yet know like what computations the game is doing to calculate its effect and any beetle's effectiveness. But maybe one day we will be able to reverse engineer it a little more and figure that out. Kind of cool.
So we got knocked out at sumo. Basically, the way it works is when your bug loses once, that bug's done for the day. So we exhausted all of our bugs. We're gonna just go ahead and end the day. This is gonna be the one day where we actually run back home to go to sleep during this tree chopping sequence, rather than trying to just get Uncle to come get us.
It's actually like a bit of a toss-up. I don't know if it's a toss-up, but like it's actually kind of close whether it's faster to just have dinner or walk home any given day.
I didn't even think about
it.
I think it's definitely slower to take the dinner.
It is. It's just like not that much slower. Like if it's already afternoon, then it's almost faster.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at this like we were probably going to get Uncle on the way home. I should have taken the shortcut if I was going to do this. It doesn't really matter. I mean, this is a short dinner.
Did we do any extra? Did we do beetle hunting today, or was that a different day?
We did not do beetle hunting today. If we had, then I definitely would have just ended or flipped the day away.
Well, you avoided an extra screen there. I think you're going to be like just barely okay here.
Yeah, you're cutting it close. But the IGT shortening as you're in the house now might be just what we need.
Now it's not too late to get. We have one last chance to get caught.
One last chance.
Okay, we made it. Wow, that was
Beautiful.
close.
Yeah, the uncle can actually, in that room that you go to save and glitch out into the next day, he can spawn in there if you're late on just that screen transition and be like, hey, it's time for dinner.
That's always the worst.
It's happened during some runs for us, and it hurts.
So they asked you, what did they ask you there? Do you like, they asked you about something. There was a yes or no prompt right there. I don't think it matters what you hit. Like there's a few parts of the game where like they will ask you a question and you have to respond. And I don't think in any of the instances it actually makes any difference what you say.
Yeah, that's my understanding, is that they never actually mean anything. If they ask you if you want to do something, it doesn't matter if you say no, you can still do it.
Yeah, like we skipped over it really quickly, but they do ask you, like, Boku, do you like flowers? And you can say yes or no. And regardless, they ask you to water the flowers.
Yeah, you can go see your aunt and she'll ask you what you want for dinner, and I think you will have that for dinner on certain days, which is pretty fun.
It is it's actually a quiz. She's asking, like, what do you think we're cooking for dinner? And you can look in the fridge to look at the ingredients that she's got and try to guess.
Okay.
By the way, you forgot to mark the flowers as watered. You did water them, but you forgot to mark it. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
I would have been sweating that at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, we have PS has a checklist pulled up on his screen that like tells us a bunch of things, and I just noticed I can see it. No one in the stream can see it though. Secret.
Today's the 13th. Yeah, I think we're gonna do Jumbo first. Then we'll chop the tree. Well, we'll probably have to chop the tree waiting for Jumbo to spawn, but we'll do that and then head back and do a little more sumo. By the way, let me change my lure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fishing is like a part of the game and it doesn't do anything. We only fish to catch the big fish in this run, but you can't. Whoa, there it goes. Timber.
Woohoo.
And that's the final day of chopping the tree. If that's not obvious.
If
He's
only
so
Boku
happy
could take a
about it.
couple extra swings at it now.
Yeah, so we're doing a little bit of screen flipping here because we're trying to get the jumbo fish to spawn, which is at random, unfortunately. So hopefully it'll just show up for us.
Oh, yep,
There
there
you
we
go.
There
go.
it is.
And this is also a big patch of RNG. We need the jumbo to just swim into our bobber and then take the bobber. It's not like it looks around for it quite as easy as like say Animal Crossing. It's a little tricky to have it work out for you.
Yes, there we go.
Hey,
Yes, that was so
nice.
fast actually.
Is this the run?
That was so fast. It can take actually up to multiple minutes for the fish to cooperate with you there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is actually a huge, I just had a run like the other day that like was a really amazing pace sumo, and then Jumbo just didn't bite for like 10 minutes.
Do we need to eat dinner here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not end day early. We eat our dinner.
Yeah.
Probably best to
Or
flip.
I think
then.
it's for the dinner that's stored before jumbo dinner.
I'm just going to do a couple of screen flips here, so that way when we're done with sumo, Uncle will get us immediately.
Oh, I didn't realize you were sumoing.
Yeah. Little late
In that
day
case, I
sumo.
probably wouldn't have suggested that you flip a Rooney.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to go catch beetles, but then I kind of forgot.
I don't think you had time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking you were just skipping out on beetles to save time.
it would have been a risk anyway, because Jumbo,
You would have.
You got some trades you can do. I think it'll be all right.
yeah.
You can get the Shirabi bug if you want later.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll have it tomorrow.
We are level 4 now, so we should be like a little bit stronger in sumo.
So we're looking for our final 15 wins. That was number one of our 15 final wins we need. We're at 31 total wins.
Doing sumo in 2 days would be optimal, pretty much.
Yeah, it's possible you can get all 45 in one day, but it's fine to just do them in 2 days.
Yeah. It's not too bad trying to do them in... Like, doing it in one day is, like, unlikely, and it's also, like, kind of a risk, just because, like... It's kind of a risk in the sense that, like, you're going to have, like, one bug that's super leveled up.
Our Rhino has like no wins on it, by the way. I don't know if you want to get wins on it or not.
Nice. Close one. Ooh.
We're just going to
Well, I
pray.
guess if-
Oh my
if-
god, look at that. That's
We love
amazing. What
I was
luck.
gonna say if he dies, we can just switch to the Rhino and get some wins on her, but no need.
All right, so now we have a 51 flat back in the trade system.
Yeah, that's the one we're going to go for, I think.
You should do it as soon as possible. Otherwise, you don't have time to get wins on it, right?
Yeah, I should probably do that now. Yeah, we'll do that. If we're going to go against a bunch of red legs that are really, like, the red leg beetles are really good at pushing.
31.2 value.
What was that?
That butterfly is worth 31.2 trade points.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it can buy
crazy.
like pretty much every bug in the game, right? I don't know if the mantis is even worth more than that.
You can't get the mantis.
Oh, okay.
How much is the
I was
first
gonna
boss?
say, what about the 100 win then?
The 100 win is 18.
Oh, okay.
Do you usually try to get that guy to help with the mantis?
I do usually get the 100 win, but honestly, it's not too bad by the time you're at mantis. So
This is unfortunate.
yeah, this is bad.
It's okay. We still have the other guy, right?
We're gonna see what Guts has
Yeah.
for a king.
Yeah, we could rotate that and see what's up.
Does not have a king.
Oh wait, then you can go back to strong, and then you'll fight a different.
Okay, red
Bug.
leg king.
So we just king skipped him.
Yeah, it takes a little time, but it gets rid of a unwanted to face bug.
It's really.
Oh, and I guess ideally you want to end on a certain person here so that he brings out the rhino right away, right?
Yeah, we ideally want to end on guts, just so we get the rhino as soon as we come in next time.
But it's kind of hard to plan for that.
You're getting there. This guy's still coming through. Okay.
Nice.
Sometimes they'll do like a big special move right at the end when they really don't need to. And the special moves do drain your bug's stamina a little bit. So you can have a bug just do a unnecessary move at the end of a fight and just lose because of it.
Speaking of losing, oh, never mind.
Nice.
I'm glad to be wrong there.
Is the goat.
Yep.
Wait, does picking him up reset? No, it doesn't. Okay, now we know for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does not reset the taps.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Very good.
Hey.
Yeah. You're bug popping those moves off. That's super nice.
This is a nice free fight.
We'll just lose by the push if we don't get those moves to come out.
Yep. Yeah, these guys, the opponents here, call them red legs, but they're really heavy for whatever reason. They just are really good at, like, they're just rocks. Beautiful. Could have done that earlier, but that works.
This is a pretty smooth sumo, all things considered, knock on wood.
Yeah, don't say that right now. We're at 41 wins.
Oh.
So I will do a few extra fights when we get to 45, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure I counted correctly, but if we
Yeah, I think you're on point.
if we leave,
Yeah, I don't think you missed any.
Like if we leave,
You
and
definitely
come
didn't
back,
overcount.
it'll be very disappointing.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt to get 46 or 47.
It would be perfect though. If we win this one, we'll be on guts next.
He's got it.
Nice.
Damn.
Oof. Oh, something to mention is that with the difficulty scale here, we cannot face bugs that are on beginner because it won't count towards the win count. Okay.
I think we're gonna
It's
just.
also important to note that some of these mechanics, like the fact that the mini boss shows up after 45 wins, none of the fact that like battling the weak class of bugs doesn't actually count towards that. None of this is explained in game. We had to just figure this out.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is cycle through to glasses again. We'll beat whatever glasses has, and then that'll leave us on guts. And we'll be at 46 wins if I counted correctly. And we'll stay on guts.
Nice.
So when do we come back for the sumo next time?
Oh, I guess the other thing I wanted to mention about doing sumo in one day, you must come and talk to the gang twice. Like you have to come here twice, regardless. So even if you do clear sumo on one day, you have to make a trip back just to have a little interaction with them.
Oh, so it doesn't even save any time?
So we have some longer dinners and breakfasts coming up. Things get a little story heavy as we get towards the end of the month. Not that we're there yet, but things start to pick up around the 15th.
The big fish art.
Okay, yeah. So today is the 14th, and we're going to have another major story event here today. We're going to hang out with Shravi again today. We won't need to go back to do any more sumo for a good minute now, or for a good while. We're going to wait like another week before we do any more sumo. So we'll mostly be skipping days, watering flowers, stuff like that. Today, though, I will try to get some more beetles. We have a chance at a new beetle tree to grab some, so I'm going to try to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we water the flowers. And on the way out, I am going to take a second to hit the Jesus statues to affect our luck a little bit. Just so, in the time that we spend out there, maybe we can get some good beetles as opposed to trash, which is what I usually get.
Is this a day where you have to skip dinner?
The day we have to do what?
We're
gonna
watch
end our day
dinner
early today.
Okay.
I think Shirabi's event just forces the dinner to start. You just like warp back into a dinner.
Yeah, it forces the dinner.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say like hitting the Jizo actually costs time, so don't hit it too many times if it's on a tight day.
Yeah, basically every action in the game advances the in-game time 4 minutes, like sitting down to play sumo, watering the flowers, hitting the Jesus statues, inspecting a beetle tree, fishing. Every time you cast, it's another 4 minutes. So you can waste whole days fishing and not even notice until you leave the screen and see Uncle.
Yeah, if you just by chance did not chop the tree by now, you just missed out on this.
Yeah, and actually we had to eat dinner yesterday in order for this to happen, because at dinner they talk about the fact that the tree has fallen down. So either not chopping the tree or not having the dinner will break this.
Oh my god, what is that? That was scary.
It's pretty spooky.
It's really too bad that we don't do the quest involving the wolf, the ghost wolf.
Yeah, so that is a piece of a quest that we're completely not going to follow up on. So we get this weird, spooky ghost dog thing, and then that'll just be in our memory for the rest of the run, and that'll be that.
there's some touching story stuff in this moment. Robbie mentions that her brother, who had passed away, favorite flower was sunflowers. And she says, hey, don't think that's weird. Something along the lines of that. And Boku's like, no, I think sunflowers are cool too. It's just a nice moment.
And it's a really lovely scenery out here. Oh yeah, here's our beetle tree, right.
The magnificent tree right there.
Yeah, so the whole game, there's like a narrator that talks sometimes, which is Boku when he's older. So like, it's kind of, yes, let's go. Like, please be a male. It is.
37.
Nice. See if we can get another beetle out of this. Hey, that's
great. Sweet.
Wow.
We're looking good.
Yeah, I think.
How big was that one?
Yeah, 40 ain't bad at all. Ain't bad at all.
Yeah, the narrator is like Boku in the future as an adult, it seems.
Yeah, like the implication is that like you playing through the game is him remembering his childhood.
Oh, that's cool.
At least that's kind of how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's certainly what it seems. Yeah, we're just continuing to follow Shirabi through the cape here. And I have one final scene at the end of the road here.
Yeah, it's a pretty big map. There's all these different places to go to, and there's a story event that actually doesn't count towards like story completion. There's the whale's earbone thing that happens out here, I believe. Or is it here or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's like near that sign.
Yeah, the screen with the sign.
There's all these little events that can happen that you just encounter. And we aren't going to do it. It's weird that the snake skin counts, but the whale earbone doesn't count.
Yeah, it is pretty curious.
We got some symbolism going on.
And there's our spooky woman cloud. Goodbye. So yeah, this is, another one of the story events. Actually get the point, I believe, at dinner.
What were they laughing about? I forget all the story.
Yeah, it's been so long. I wish I remembered what all these cutscenes were all about.
I think you probably know better than me because you actually played this casually, like translating every text box manually, right?
Yeah.
In Google Translate.
We see. Unfortunately, I never got the best ending in that playthrough, so I didn't actually see everything.
It's like impossible. If you get a chance, definitely do the... Did you do the wolf quest when you played this casually?
Yeah, it is a really cool one.
I love the dialogue between that you encounter in that quest.
I'm gonna do that a little early, whatever.
Yeah, there's one character that we're actually not going to meet, and I won't spoil who it is, but or anyone who wants to play this game, but she's my favorite character.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. We don't actually meet them at all.
You just briefly walk by her.
Oh no, we do see her.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You just walk by her.
We do walk by
We do.
her.
I'll point her
the
out.
cave, yeah.
I'll point her out to everybody, and we don't even say hi.
In
A quick hello.
doing all bugs runs, there's a bug that spawns on the screen where she hangs out, and I believe it only spawns there, and it is a real pain to try to catch that bug and not talk to her. And if you do talk to her, it actually starts an unskippable cutscene.
It's the same button to catch the bug and to initiate. Everything is circle to do everything in this game.
Great purple emperor there if you want it.
Oh, I didn't
At
even
this point.
didn't even notice that. That's probably fine.
We got it. We
Yeah,
should.
you got plenty of bugs, especially from that last tree pull. That was nice.
Are we in the sleeping?
Yeah, we're just sleeping today. We're gonna be skipping ahead to the 18th. I guess we'll go and try do the 101 Rhino boss fight. We could wait until the 24th. I guess I have a couple of minutes to decide. But I feel like we should probably try to take him out as early as possible, just to make sure we don't get we don't mess up the schedule or something. Oh, you know what? Actually,
Might as well.
I think the 24th
I think the 18th day because of the calendar luck. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I believe that's why we've been doing the 18th, is for a superstition, basically.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure if the day of the month number entirely matters.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think just to get all of this day skipping out of the way up front, we'll go ahead and skip to the 24th and do.
I don't know.
Well, it gives us.
Wait, then when are you doing the mantis?
It gives us.
You do the pre-mantis on 26, and then you do the mantis on 27.
Yeah, so we have 2 days to take the 101 Rhino. It's a little.
I would just play it safe.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about it. I don't know.
You never know what can go wrong.
You see, this is one fun thing about the run, is that there's like a little bit of flexibility in like when you do some of this stuff. There's like multiple good options. It's just kind of how much of a risk do you want to take?
Is it a risk though? Because you don't lose anything by doing it on the 18th, do you?
It's not really a risk, honestly.
Like
You do have to go outside to water the flowers anyways. I think that might be a little bit part of it. Like it saves like a couple screens because of the flower watering.
Right. So today's the 17th, and like I said, we're gonna try to skip forward at least another day. We're actually gonna do our last flower watering tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. And then I'm gonna try to water the flowers every day after that, which is gonna be great. Yeah, today's the 17th. Yeah, okay.
Almost done with the watered flowers.
There wasn't.
It's actually like a big weight off the shoulder when you finish the watering of the flowers, because it's like the lengthiest story point in the game in terms of like how many days you have to do it in a row.
Yeah, I wonder if,
Also-
if you added up the time it takes. I wonder if like doing kites or the other quest would be worth it.
No way.
Oh, I don't know.
Flowers are so quick.
The flowers are pretty quick.
The kites take forever. You gotta go there too.
That's worth actually doing the math for that and seeing how much it would add up, because it is a lot of days of walking outside and doing that.
I mean, there's 7. So there's a whole. You can fly kites in this game. We didn't really mention that. We're not going to do it because we only need 13 out of 15 like story events to happen to get the good ending. But if you fly 7 kites correctly, like there's a whole kite flying mini game. If you get them up to like a certain number of certain height, you get all. You only need to do the first 7. Then you get a completion point.
Uncle will make Boku a kite. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just do the 101 Rhino since we're out.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, somebody did ask about the about an all kites category. Apparently, someone here has given that a go.
Who was
Yeah.
it?
I've done the only all kites run, and it's like an hour and a half. It's a bit shorter than this run,
Okay.
but that's only one story point, so that's why we don't include it into this run. It's such a long story point, but it's cool to fly the kites, and then you get the final kite at the end, which
Should we
is
spoil?
a very cool reveal.
No, let's keep it a secret. Let's keep it a secret what the final kite is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool, interesting kites that you unlock over time from beating each kite mission, you could call it. Yeah. We might eventually add that to the board, the all kites thing, but we'll think about it. There's probably plenty of runs we could come up with for this game, which is the beautiful thing about it.
3
I
times.
think we've got like the
around.
perfect amount right now of categories, especially considering how many people actively run it. Wait, why is glasses up?
I actually don't know why glasses is up. That's very weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it just always advance it by 1?
I thought it would be the same person as glasses after guts.
Yeah, glasses after guts. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the Kings reset. Because everyone was out except for guts.
Eat guts yesterday? Like, did we accidentally beat him? No, we didn't.
We should be at 45.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the first boss.
Yeah. And there's a 100 in that Beatles stats if you look up near the Beatles name. That implies that it has had 100 wins, so it's supposed to seem like this big, hardcore beetle that you go up against. And he's pretty hardcore. He's hard to beat, actually.
That guy.
Wow.
He was trying to do this move where he like stops and like shakes and like charges up and then like does a really hard push.
Right.
But he was too small. So he just wasn't doing anything. He was just using all his stamina, doing nothing.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that did nothing. The rhino is like one of the strong, like the male rhino beetle is one of the strongest ones. So we were really lucky to get one. We might win. Looking good.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Hey.
That's actually so big. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky. So, all right.
This is a seriously good run right now.
Yeah, that's a good run. Yeah, that fight in particular, it can just keep whooping all of your beetles' butts, and then you're just caught in this loop of having to trade beetles, just trying to stay alive long enough with beetles that can still fight to even try to face them. And then you end up facing them with weak beetles, and you end up losing an entire run to that sometimes. So that really worked out. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
good work.
It's definitely the scariest part of sumo. Like you got a real chance of losing, and you know, once all your bugs are out, you're just done for the day. You got to come back tomorrow. So, real rough.
We could even consider that the hardest fight because this next fight has a unique property to how the HP/stamina works on the next fight. And I guess we'll go ahead and say it now. It's like a chip damage style where when the boss takes damage, it'll keep the damage taken, and then you can send in another bug, and then that bug can continue to do the damage to the bug.
Oh.
So in that way, you can like keep sending a bunch of weak bugs over and over again in a desperation if you really need to.
Right. And because we're not like concerned with like actually keeping the bugs or anything, we can just keep trading bugs until we get the win. It's just a lot less risk overall.
We're done with flowers.
Yeah. This is our first skip day with no flowers.
Oh, wow.
How cozy. Time for any percent simulator.
We're just going to try to get through these days as quickly as possible. Right now it's the 19th, and we're going to try to get forward to the 26th. So we've got about a week to kill. We get to see lots of lovely, I didn't do anything today, but it was a great day.
Yeah, if you don't do anything in the whole day, Boku writes in his journal, today was another wonderful day where nothing happened.
Right, another wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a holiday. You're allowed to do nothing sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. You shouldn't be so concerned with doing everything every day.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd like to take this moment to bring up that, like, that's a perfect segue into the fact that some people consider this to not be the real ending of the game. The best ending, because it's, like, unrealistic. Because, like, how would you figure out how to do all this stuff without a guide? It's, like, everything we've done so far has not been... The game does not tell you to do any of it. It's a completely open-ended game. You can do as much or as little as you want. And it doesn't reward or punish you for doing or not doing anything. So a lot of people consider the second best ending to be like the real ending.
But if it's so open-ended, is there really the ending? Well, I guess
the month ends no matter what you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did the sequels expand on it much at all? Do you know?
So, interestingly enough, the sequels, every single Boku no Natsuyasumi game is completely not only disconnected, but exists in a completely alternate universe.
Oh.
So they all have the same main character, but he's in it. It's always August, I believe, and it's always they call all the main characters Boku, and I think they're supposed to be the same person, but like he's not the same Boku. Like it's like alternate universes. I don't know. It's weird. It's like different takes on the same concept.
He always has the same personality, it seems. I'm not sure if that holds true in every game, but definitely in the second game, it is like it's the same Boku. It's still Boku.
But yeah, I think it kind of goes along with the theme of him. The fact like that's what his character is. He's just young boy. He's just young male boy. Like his name is literally the word for young boy. Like it's just kind of in character. He just stands in for the players. Like supposed to imagine themselves as being him.
It is really interesting, the sequel to this game, Boku no Natsuyasumi 2, reuses all the same voice actors as different characters. There's a different aunt, a different uncle, different cousins, and they've just kind of mixed up all the voices where the voice actors for the little underpass gang kids are all of the two young boys that Boku's two young cousins. In Boku 2, and it's a different aunt and a different uncle, but they still have the same voices.
That's fun.
And actually, there are two female characters in the game, and they have the two voices of the daughters here as well. So it really
is alternate universe.
It feels very like the first time I booted it up and I was playing it, I was like, "This is so weird. Why is I don't know this family."
Who are you people? That's Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a couple more days. Today is the 22nd. Yeah, the last few days that we play here are pretty busy. We actually do a good amount of stuff. Pretty much every day we're going to get more than one story event done.
By the way, his shirt says dog on it, if you're wondering. It's got a little drawing of a dog, and it has the word dog on it.
Oh.
Boku's shirt, that is.
You see, I object to that. I mean, I've looked at the texture. It does not say dog. It makes no attempt at saying dog. It's just squares.
I thought it was supposed to say dog.
And if you look at the art for the game, it does say dog. But
see, dog. So it's like, I was gonna say that makes it like even more heartbreaking that he pulls the hair out of the dog's hide and like hurts him. The dog is mad at you. Like if you remember when we did that earlier, that if you go interact with the dog normally, he's like happy to see you and he barks. But after you pull his hair out, he like growls at you for the rest of the game.
Oh.
I think on the 30th, you can actually, he actually likes you again.
Yeah, he forgives you eventually.
Did you catch what day it was in the journal, John?
In the journal? No, I didn't look. I think if you go to the pause menu, it tells you, right?
Okay, actually, it's
25.
It's 25. Sure. Yeah, we're seeing the calendar. It's 25.
Yeah.
Wait, weren't we supposed to do something yesterday? Did we miss something?
No, I was just trying to make sure I had the day right.
Catching the counter up.
Yeah, exactly.
That was almost a bit sketchy.
Yeah, thankfully that particular scene of the calendar on their wall shows up on day 25, so it helps you keep track during all of these sleeps here.
What are they? I forget what I think they're talking about. They say like, it's weird that it hasn't rained yet this summer.
Yeah, exactly. They're talking, yeah, it's so weird. It hasn't rained yet. It's been a hot one, huh?
I'm just going to pull up the document.
Yeah, today we're actually going to leave the house. First of all, we're going to go...
Oh yeah, there's nothing today, right?
Today is the 26th.
Oh no, overpass rain event.
Yeah, we're doing rain.
Oh, it's the 26th.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you hadn't killed that rhino boss by now, you've missed your chance to do it. Or rather, you could still do it, but then you won't be able to spawn the next boss in time.
And you can actually, the earliest day you can actually do the boss is the 16th. So you have about a 10-day window for finishing the sumo stuff. You basically have a 10-day window for the 100 win rhino fight. And that includes like doing your 45 wins and then waiting 5 days for your sumo level to increase to the point where the 100 win rhino will appear. So
something that just happened there in game was we had an encounter with the snake, and that is an easy story point because you go back in after Uncle comes and scares off the snake, and there's going to be some snake skin there that you can pick up, and picking that up is an easy story point.
Hope no one got too startled by that.
It was pretty scary.
Only Boku, it seems. Here's
I
another
love
one.
the animation that he does when he sees the snake.
Yeah, his like shock jump back that he does.
Yeah, it's so comical. Oh, it's too bad we don't get to see the actual rain cutscene.
I know. I keep having the thought like, oh, maybe I shouldn't skip a cutscene, but I'm like, well, okay. I mean, but what about the next one? Like, oh, I like this
Are you
one
on
too.
PB pace?
It's a hot run regardless. It's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Wait,
All these
do you have live
RNG
split
things
open?
that have been lining up, it's been really nice.
Yeah, we're not actually going to do sumo today. We actually just needed to show up so the gang could be like, hey, he beat all our beetles. We're going to get our real secret weapon. Just you wait.
And Boku even laughs at them right there.
Right. So now we're done for the day here, but we did achieve 2 story event points. And now we can rest easily.
We saw
You
the
might have
rainbow
noticed
for
the
one.
nice rainbow in that one screen that we got from the rain event. Very pretty.
Too bad we don't get to see the log.
Yeah, especially because it's funny. There's a song that's going to be playing when we do get to the time where we encounter the log, and because the music's playing, it messes up like the cutscene starting, and so we can actually skip it before the cutscene even starts.
Oh wow!
So we see 0 of that cutscene. I mean, spoilers, we're going to have music playing soon, which is crazy.
Let's go.
So again, if you hadn't caught Jumbo by now, today would have been your last day to do it. And then he's just dips.
Yeah, the jumbo fish. Tomorrow is a very tight day, IGT wise. We're trying to get to a location as early as possible with the things that we do beforehand. We're gonna go do a little bit more sumo, and you guys will get to see the big finale. And then we'll be cutting it close on some stuff coming up right after that, but we'll point it out.
Right.
I think
we can't do any like extra screen changes today, or I mean, I guess it doesn't lose the run, but it does mean we'll lose a good amount of time.
Yeah. Loses a lot of time, yeah.
But we've glossed over some story beats, but do you want to talk about Moe and what happens to her?
I can a little bit. So, Moe's just graduated middle school and she's about to start high school, I believe. And when she left middle school, she had a crush. And more or less over the course of the summer, she gets broken up with, and it kind of sends her into a spiral. And so a lot of these story moments that happened in the last couple of weeks, like earlier we had a long conversation in the living room after breakfast that was Moe kind of saying she didn't even want to go she didn't want to go to high school or just want to drop out, be a farmer, which reasonable. But more or less, Boku is gonna try his best to make her happy. So we're gonna hopefully accomplish that today.
Why do I hear boss music?
Dude.
So, this is the final boss of Sumo, the Mantis.
Ooh.
And it has a unique stamina HP property that you'll start to see. As I mentioned before, we can chip down the HP slowly, so it's extremely unlikely that
nice.
we kill this in one fight. It can happen. You can get a lucky certain move where the Mantis will just run right past your bug and your bug dodges him. And that ends the fight right away. That's best RNG. It's super unlikely, though.
The fake out. Yeah, so I think...
fake out move, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes there's the female Sawtooth or something knows that move, so... I remember on one practice session what I did was I just stalked up on them and just threw a bunch of them at him.
Too small, not doing anything.
Oh my god. Dead.
So yeah,
he was getting ready twice for something.
Yeah, he does that like charge up and like eats a bunch of stamina. Sorry. I always start talking and then I have to count and I'm like, I can't do both. But yeah, he does that move where he like crunches up and like it uses a bunch of stamina to do it, but then he does like a super powered push, but he's just too small, so he couldn't do anything. So he's just burning his stamina.
We're gonna have to do some
flat
trades.
back.
Or that was a female rhino.
Yeah.
Here's another flatback. Flatbacks are really good. They're good bugs.
So apparently this Mantis has 255 wins.
Oh
my
no.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Incredible.
We're going to lose. Might as well lose fast.
Okay.
So with some recent testing, this bug in particular turned out to be kind of good if we get enough moves out of this bug.
Yeah, this thing really goes crazy. Like, it'll just spam special moves. I got a good clip the other day where it like did like 6 in a row. It just non-stop attacks. Yeah,
wow.
That one there.
I was hoping for a little bit more of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that was the clip. It was that move like a bunch of times. Very nice. But we're making good work here. You can see that the HP is already pretty dang low. But you can also see how getting an instant win would be so much faster.
Yeah.
Where are we going? I think we're out, right? Time to trade. 14, not quite enough, but
18. Which one was the 18?
that's not the one I wanted, but that's all right. Just hit the trade button instead of the next button. That's all right.
Wait, what were you?
I did that earlier today.
Yeah, this is why this like Mantis fight is a little bit less stressful than the 100 win Rhino. Like, you don't have to take him out with one bug, and if you do like run out of usable bugs, you can just keep trading, and sure, it's like diminishing returns at some point, but like you can just keep it going.
Freaking healing.
Ooh.
What are
You
we
literally
doing?
just healed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my first Miyama. Awesome.
よし行け
We just need the mantis. Like, I'm just hoping he tires himself out now.
Yeah, it's looking good. Oh,
よし行け
He wasted
Close
stamina
one
doing
here.
that.
Oh,
oh,
that's
unfortunate.
one more.
Like a junk trade could
Just
do this.
anything.
じゃあそれと交換しよ
This one's gonna do like a barrage of special moves and take 5 seconds to
う
win.
よしよしよしよし
Or take like 5 minutes to win.
頑張れ
Oh no.
There it is.
まあ
Nice.
Yay! Let's go.
I've seen that sliver of health there. Like, are you kidding me?
Not every day that he gets taken down by that bug.
It's very true.
That's like one of the weakest bugs.
So had doing all of this bug sumo stuff, doing the 45 wins to unlock the 100 win rhino beetle, facing that, beating that, and then beating this mantis unlocks a nice big portion of content in the game. You get to go through this secret passage now.
And also at this point, this place is just littered with very rare bugs that are very large. And so now that you don't need to do any more trades, they just give you free money. See, there's a cutscene here, but like I said, the music is playing, and that makes the cutscene delay itself a little bit for some reason, so we can actually skip it without seeing even a frame. But this music only plays the first time you enter this area, so. And spoilers. This is how you actually get to the mountaintop. So the mountain has been closed for safety reasons since the start of the month, at least. And so at 11 o'clock, this gate closes and you can't get up here. Until you unlock this shortcut, there is no way to get here before 11 a.m. But jumping through that well after winning the sumo stuff lets you get through. So,
Barely.
Yeah. It's an extremely tight schedule where we go and fight sumo and we're off by maybe just 1 or 2 screens of in-game time before not being able to enter this area. So this is like really, really tightly routed into the run, where we even take the shortcut area that we mentioned near the beginning of the run that takes less IGT but longer RTA, just so we can squeeze in the IGT to get to this area early enough with the mantis fight.
This place looks familiar.
right? Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. He's just having a lot of thoughts to himself about the view. I know he's saying a bunch of meaningful things, but he sure talks a lot.
You can actually catch bugs on this tree, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It has some good bugs.
right. Yeah. If you're gonna do like a all bugs run, probably the best way to get like the giant beetles is on that tree. Even though they're still pretty rare. They're just the most common on that tree.
This whole hilltop climb area has some of my favorite screens in the entire game. Very, very beautiful art. You'll see that as we walk out of that area. That gate was closed behind us.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I mean, this
She's
area is
coming.
one of my favorites.
Is this where we
as
see
well.
her?
Yep.
Get ready, everybody.
Hey, there she is.
Whoa, let's go!
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hello and goodbye.
I guess we'll see
Worth
you
it.
I
one
wonder
more
who that
time.
was.
Yeah, just one more One more little visit past her.
うちの学校
That's all we'll
Oh, wait,
see
we
of
get to see
her
her
this
again?
entire run.
教頭先生
Yeah, get to see her again, Teddy.
なんだか自分の大事な宝
So
物
this
を
dialogue here is actually a flashback to a previous dinner conversation that we did not have, where Moe is talking about her English teacher losing a book in the woods, and Boku remembers and takes the book and gives it to her.
There she is. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah, well, she was reading a book. She wasn't really paying attention anyway.
Yeah, a couple of screen flips here to move the IGT, because out here IGT
Right, yeah.
moves way faster, or takes care of more time at once. So now we're gonna warp home, and we have less screens to flip to get to this dinner tonight. But we need to get home and talk to Moe, not Mo, and have her check out the thing we just got, and she's gonna take care of it. I think it's she translates it for us, right?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
letter written in English.
Does it actually show you what it says?
She
Yeah,
reads
she
it
reads it,
the next
yeah.
morning to the whole family. So you'll see that after today.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I'm actually
entering
going in
this
her
room too.
She, and Moe has a little music box in her room. You can interact with it, listen to it. It's pretty nice.
This is me every day. I'm just flopped like face down on my bed all day.
Yeah, it's a good way to spend the summer, face down in bed.
Boku's concerned face is adorable. You can see her there. She's just flopped face down on the bed.
It is pretty funny.
I mean,
No.
to quote Gladys, it would be funny if it weren't so sad.
Right.
Yeah, she's not feeling herself, but this might help.
Right. And so this is when she actually reads the letter. Then
Oh, okay, during dinner.
and they kind of talk about what's going on. I believe like it's written by a child during World War II, and talking about like being very interested in Japan and loving the culture and hoping he gets to visit sometime. You have just a conversation like, oh, I wonder if that kid survived the war. Huh.
Actually, I believe that's the second time World War II gets mentioned in this game, because there's a Hiroshima memorial service that's on TV in the living room earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
So every day there's like a different television show playing on that TV there that you just saw, and you can watch it.
Yeah, actually on the screen with the television, there is a clock on the wall that actually reflects the in-game time. But that's the only place in the game where it shows up. So now we're mostly done with everything we need to do in the whole of the run. We have one more story event to take care of, and that's going to be on the last playable day, which is the 30th. And today is the 28th, for reference. But until we get to the 30th, we're just going to be skipping days. Fortunately, this is not as long of a stretch as the last one. So,
You're right. That really doesn't look like anything like the word dog.
Bro. So during this breakfast, we'll actually be able to confirm whether or not we did the flowers correctly, I believe.
right, yeah.
We'll pull out some flower photos.
It is the last thing
I don't
that
think we're
happens.
here.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't know if we mentioned, but like, the aunt takes like she's a photographer, and she like I think the lore is that like she went to the city to be like a famous photographer, and then like she gave up her dream to come to be like a mother here with the uncle in the countryside.
Yeah, I think rather than pursuing a career, she decided to just settle down with Yusako out here.
Yeah, and she takes a picture of the flowers every day that they bloom, and you can actually see them at the end.
Yeah, at the end of the
We'll
run,
show
you'll see them. Or you can see them.
Yeah.
And she takes a picture of you and Shiorabe early on when you go. You saw
Right there,
Hero
Boku
Man.
just had a nightmare, but we skipped through it. It shows,
wish I could
I
just
believe,
do
the
that in real
sunflower field drying up.
Oh, scary.
Actually, kind of low key disturbing because there's like weird sounds going on.
And
I mean,
there's
PS1 era of games had a way of, you know, even if it wasn't, you know, like the scariest thing on screen, just the atmosphere, they could catch you out. Anyway, you were saying,
Yeah.
you were saying PS.
Oh, I was just gonna say that cutscene actually kind of goes along with an event that happens at dinner that we did not see, where I believe Boku takes like a bath with Moe, and they talk about like she finally like tells Boku what's going on, because I think up until that point she still hadn't like told anyone that it was because of a breakup that she was so depressed. And so I think Boku passes out in the tub, and
So sad that we don't watch that cutscene.
yeah, it's a pretty funny one.
Yeah, he like faints.
But then yeah, he's sick and has a nightmare.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, that's where he's sick in bed and says some heartfelt stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, he's like got some really touching dialogue.
Some tear-jerking stuff.
I guess I won't spoil it in case anyone ever wants to like play this game.
Yeah, this game's like, it is a really emotional story. It's pretty good. And like, yeah, but it's like all optional. You don't have to interact with any of it.
This is the next big story point that we're doing, and this is basically the last thing in the entire run before it's mostly just mashing text.
Yeah, we're almost
But
finished.
we're gonna
here.
go meet Shirabi out in the sunflower field.
It's a long way to run for little legs. I'm impressed by this guy's stamina.
He's got little kid energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids have unlimited energy.
So we're just
Being
need to-
powered by the sun.
Yes, by the sun. We just need to advance time until noon here, and Shirabi will appear magically. Any time now. There she is. Cool.
Yeah.
So I think she ran away, and then you find her here.
She ran away, I believe, to try to pick some sunflowers for Boku because she knew he's leaving. And Boku says something unkind here and gets a little chuckle at her expense, and she's unhappy about it.
Are you serious? Why did you do that, Boku?
You get to see this screen with the beautiful sunset.
Oh,
This always makes me dizzy.
it's so gorgeous.
It's a little bit of a flashing warning because of switching between the screens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Thankfully, it's not super fast of a strobe.
At least it's, we do it pretty regularly throughout the run, but it's for pretty short intervals.
We didn't fully explain the luck days. We talked about it, and then we didn't explain what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We've done a lot of testing with the luck days, but we're not entirely sure what's going on with it. We've gotten down to looking up the calendar luck days in Japan of 1975 through August and matching those into the game. And then we've also tried seeing if it's more of like a fictional based thing and ordering it differently for the month.
Yeah.
But it's kind of confusing, and we're not even sure how much it affects, even if
What
it
we're talking
affects
about
anything.
is this old Japanese superstition, like really old, called Rokuyo. They used to use a lunar calendar in Japan that had like 6 days in a week instead of 7, and each day has like special properties. Like some are lucky days, some are unlucky, and the game tells you about this. Like if you look at the official guide, it makes a point to mention this. And we're not even sure if this is just flavor text or if this actually impacts anything in the game. So it's like the jury's out because the game's so RNG anyway. It's not clear whether like the lucky or unlucky days actually do anything, but like the guide really does point it out very strongly. So like why is that in there if it doesn't do anything? I don't know. It's weird. Big mystery.
It's nice to have some unexplained superstition in a speedrun.
Yeah.
Well, it just gives you something to blame when you lose your run.
Exactly.
True.
So this is...
Yeah, we ideally try to do like sumo and stuff on those luckier days. Like we don't really want to be catching bugs or doing sumo on the unlucky days if we can make it happen.
And like
just because of superstition, we're not entirely sure.
I mean, yeah,
but it also works out.
It is always funny. Like I go and I do like the 100 win rhino fight on like a day that's like the worst luck possible. But yeah, also time is coming up.
Time is coming up. Yeah, time's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, so we have a little conversation with Aunt here, and then we're gonna have a brief cutaway, and then Boku's gonna walk over to his dad, and time is gonna be when the screen fades to black. Right after that, so. It's a couple of seconds before it actually does it, but it is coming up very soon.
Yeah, these are the Boku's dad pixels, if you can't see. Like, it's kind of hard to see.
Boku's dad's kind of dumpy. I love him.
Boku's back in his clothes. Boku drip.
There it is. Time.
GG.
But don't go anywhere because there's like we said, there's a post-credit scene, and that'll like the ending cutscene happens after the credits.
Yeah,
so we gotta stick around a little bit.
I guess this would be a good time to talk. If you're curious about the story of this game, you want to hear everything, and maybe you're not going to play it for yourself. There's a video by Action Button. It's a 6-hour-long video, but it very thoroughly explains the plot of this game. Goes through the gameplay mechanics, stuff like that. You're not going to learn how to beat the game necessarily, but when I was starting to route the speedrun for this, I was watching that video trying to pay attention to what he said about how he was able to complete stuff. And, it's been a good resource. And especially, like I said, he explains a lot of the story, which is great. Another thing I wanted to mention as well is that there actually is a PSP remake of this game, which would have been great for going places, actually, but it's like an hour longer to do best ending because the most notable change from a speed perspective is that they fixed the glitch that lets you end the day early. So it's quite a bit longer just for that fact. But the same route also works on PSP. In fact, it's a little bit easier because they've made a couple other minor changes to the story that just speed things up slightly. But yeah, so wanted to mention that as well. The PSP remake has a good number of quality of life changes.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the run. And like I said, we need to watch these credits and then, we don't have to watch the credits, but after the credits, there's going to be a post-credit scene that actually that is like which ending you got. There's like 5 different endings, and we're just hoping we get the right one.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so these pictures. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in terms of like, you've explained that you folks have kind of like built this run. I was just curious if there were any other shout outs outside of this little group that you folks wanted to shout out.
Yeah, I'd love to shout out Doonwacky, who probably wouldn't have started routing this if Doonwacky hadn't played it and helped out with some of the early routing stuff. Just also wanted to shout out my partner Snap. Thank you for being around and helping out. Yeah, anything y'all want to get out?
That was a fantastic run.
Yeah,
GG.
That was really fast. Like, what was the final time on that?
2:05:10.
Yeah.
That was only 2 minutes off record.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah, it's really fast.
Yeah, Sumo was
Good stuff.
Sumo was great.
Yeah, that was
Could
good
not have
sumo.
like asked
Good
for a
bugs and
better
good sumo.
showcase.
I guess other things I wanted to shout out. This is probably the time to do it. There are multiple sequels to this game. PlayStation 2, PS3. There's even a modern spin-off that's on Switch. There's an English translation of the game that's being officially released August 8th. It's called Natsuyasumi 20th Century Kid. It is an open world spin-off of the Boku no Natsuyasumi series, still with the same lead director and same kind of team behind it. And also earlier in the last year, a group called Hilltop Works released a fan translation for Boku no Natsuyasumi 2, which is a PS2 game. And that is a very, very well done translation. And it's also a wonderful game. It's not this one. You're not going to be in the same place. It's going to be, but Boku's still there, and you'll have all the same voice actors as well. So that's something. And being a little more modern, it has a lot of the quality of life changes and uses a lot of cool PS2 features as well. So,
Is that one actually 3D? Like, this one's like Resident Evil 3D.
it's a mix of pre-rendered. I mean, it plays the same as this game, but it has a little more 3D stuff. But it's a mix.
All right, so did we get the good ending?
We don't know
Let's
yet. There it
That's
is.
the truth.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's
New
go.
York City, baby.
That's the best end.
This is the best one. Boku grew up to be a writer, a best-selling novelist, moved to New York, has a hip apartment, as we can see.
Very cool.
And yeah, that was our narrator talking. So yeah, that is the run. This is it's been Boku no Natsuyasumi.
Let's look at the photos briefly.
Sure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have, but there is some glitching stuff we could do.
Let's see.
I think they're probably going to want to throw it over to Toaster pretty soon.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Here's the photos. Yay.
yeah. So these are the photos we got for watering the flowers.
Nice.
And I removed
What
my
else we
memory
got?
card earlier on, so I forgot when you say no to that, it throws you right here because you can't save it. Usually you can actually come in here and look at your stuff, look at like what you got after the game's over. So, yeah. That, I think that'll be it for me.
Awesome. Well, commentators, were there any additional shout outs from you folks, or are we wrapping up?
I just
think
want to say,
that'll be
like,
all.
real
on
quick,
Twitter.
if you're even like somewhat, if we even got you even a little bit interested in this game, watch the action button video on it. I know we already shouted that out, but like,
Yeah.
that's how I got into this game. I was just watching Shaman's stream and he was sick, and we watched that video all the way through for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it just blew me away, and it made me fall in love with the game before I'd even played it.
A 6-hour long video. Is it like a video essay sort of going over the going over the
It's
game?
the video. It's one of the videos of all time.
It's a lengthy video, but it's a really good watch.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about the game.
Yeah. And I think it gives a lot of context for when it was released as well. I think that's, something that's really nice about it. Yeah. I will say one thing in that video. Tim Rogers, the guy who made it, he does say over and over that he expects a fan translation of this game is going to be available, and he even says like, "Oh, it's kind of the reason I wanted to do this review was because there's going to be a translation available," but then that never happened. So, kind of unfortunate, but he did give a very detailed plot synopsis, and so it certainly is enough to kind of get you going.
Awesome. Well, folks, that's been. I'm not gonna. Am I gonna say it? Boku. I need to every time. I need to actually have a look at this on Boku Natsuyasumi. Is that?
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Good enough.
Do make sure to check out PS, of course. PS. This is like shout yourself out. You just put on this show, showing kind of all of the love and dedication that you guys have put into this run. Where can people find you, and what will you be up to in the month of August?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/psyouloveme. And yeah, month of August, I'm going to be doing Boku runs. Going to be playing some Boku 2, probably some Natsumon. Anything else that strikes my fancy, but going to be doing a lot of Boku in August. So, yeah.
Awesome. And commentators, whatever you get up to, apart from burping on hotfixes, what's
Oh my gosh.
what's
I was waiting to still say. I was wondering if
Okay.
anyone was going to mention that. I was thinking like during the meditation, I was like, this would be a really funny time if it's just a huge bell chapping right now.
No more burping. It stops there.
But aside from that, if folks want to check you out, what can they do?
You guys can check me out at twitch.tv/Shamana. I speedrun Katamari. I'm a top Katamari speedrunner, and I've also dabbled into a bunch of other different speedrun games.
Awesome.
And I'm over on twitch.tv/TheTedder. And I will not be speedrunning this game because I don't have it. I speedrun Amnesia. In the past, I actually did speedrun Harry Potter 2 for GDQ Hotfix about 5 years ago. I don't really play that game so much anymore, but you never know. I might come back to it. But you got to follow to find out.
Awesome. Well, this has been super, super comfy. Thank you all so much for putting this on and just showing this game some love. This is definitely the kind of game that I feel encapsulates going places. This is an all-timer. So big thank you for all being up for showing it off, folks. We are not done here tonight. We have in fact got some more Going Places action, a game that was only released in North America and Europe. So not quite region exclusive, but there were some regions that didn't get it. So region, we're gonna let it slide. We are gonna be joined by Xando Toaster, showing us Kingsley's adventure just before we head off into a little break to get things changed over. Just a reminder that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support the Games Done Quick hotfix. So if you enjoyed that speedrun or any of the other speedruns that you've been seeing on hotfix lately, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel and helping us out? But alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Games Done Quick channel and to the Games Done Quick hotfix. If you haven't tuned in for the start of this show, or you've just caught this run on the latter half of our YouTube upload, then welcome. These are, hotfixes are either reoccurring or one-off shows that we have rotating through the weeks with different themes, but bringing you speedrun and speedrun adjacent content. This has been Going Places so far. I'd like to call this a speedrun travel show. We go around the world looking at region exclusive games, as well as games that we can play on the go. We've already had a really, really nice run to start off this episode, a bit of a longer episode. We are going to be finishing it off with some platforming action in Kingsley's adventure, but Just before we start off with that, we've got a whole slew of other things happening on the Games Done Quick channel as well. So you can check all of Hotfix info at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix, of course, to see what the schedules are like and what's going to be happening. The next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, returns on August the 18th to the 25th. If you want to know about that, you can use !FF in the Twitch chat to check out the schedule. We also have GDQ coming to PAX from August 30th to September the 2nd. The schedule is also out for that, so you can use !PAX, PAX, in the Twitch chat for more info. And then we also have Games Done Quick Express, which is returning to TwitchCon from September the 20th to the 22nd. So once again, you can use !GDQX in the Twitch chat for more info. And yeah, let us know what runs you'd be interested to see in these events. And if you've submitted, then best of luck. Your run's surely in good hands with the Games Committee, but we have got a game in good hands today. We are going to be throwing over to somebody who is not having a staring contest with their plush, though it might seem like it. Xando is going to be showing us Kingsley's Adventure. Xando, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing so good.
Let's go. We love to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm here with Kingsley's Adventure. There's quite a bit to talk about over the run, but I can talk about it during the run, so I'm just going to get started. Time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
So, Kingsley's Adventure. We are playing a little orphan fox named Kingsley. Look at him, he's adorable. We love Kingsley.
Aww.
He has one goal in life. He wants to be a true knight. He's a citizen of the Carrot Kingdom, and more than anything, he just wants to help his fellow citizens. Before we can start on the path to becoming a true knight, of course, we need to get some training done. This is a little tutorial for the game that we're pretty heavily going to skip. I'm going to say right now there's a lot of out-of-bounds movement in the run. There is also a lot of tank control movement. And it's not always the easiest to make jumps. Even some intended jumps are pretty hard in this game.
I was about to say, this already looks quite awkward.
A little bit. We also get to do some out-of-bounds movement right here. We're gonna just wedge ourselves into this corner, jump up, we're gonna try again. This is actually one of the hardest skips in the run, right at the start. There we go. So we are way up in the sky right now. That little green hallway down at the bottom is a loading zone for the end of this section. We're just gonna kind of line ourselves up and jump over there. We lost a life, but we made it.
Let's go.
This run is gonna have a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of wedging yourself into corners. There's a lot of enemies hitting you to push you up onto walls. It's a very strange game that way, but it's surprisingly mostly pretty easy to do. Like I said, that one is one of the hardest ones in the run, so it's nice to just have out of the way. But we are coming up on the end of this this tutorial here. We have to give our weapons back to the armorer. And before we go talk to the king and queen to get our first nightly mission, we're going to say our good friend, Old Wrinkle, who's going to give us a dagger, as all good friends do, I guess. Yeah, and then we go talk to the king and queen. So, we've gone through our nightly training. We are not a true knight yet. First, we need to, do some missions, prove ourselves, prove that we're, worthy of holding the title of true knight. And so the king and queen told us, hey, Kingsley, you need to go to Sea Town. There's a pirate that is, I guess, attacking the people there. Go stop this pirate for us, you small child who we just gave a dagger to.
I'd trust Kingsley with my life at this moment in time.
I would too. He's real good. We're going to see also the first instance of another common thing throughout this run. We're going to pick up a green key here, and you notice across the way there's a green lock. We're not going to use the key on that lock. Instead, we're going to clip up and just jump over to the entrance to Sea Town. And we're going to save this green key for later. I want to say it was Jaxler who saw this and called it key smuggling, which I think is a term taken from the medieval community. Where basically, this is a really linear game, and they expect you to use keys pretty much as soon as you get them. But if you do carry a key later into the game, you can use it later in the game. So there's going to be a green door later that we're going to use this key on. And we're going to see a lot of this. I think at some point we're carrying like 5 keys at once. It can get pretty ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
But we have made it to the first dungeon. This first area is pretty straightforward. So while I'm running through it, I'm going to talk a little bit about the bigger story for this game. We're Kingsley, we want to be a true knight, that's great. However, the reason that the king and queen sent their newest knight on this mission to go fight a pirate is because something happened to all of the other knights of the kingdom. You see, there was this bad guy, his name is Bad Custard, who I think used to be a cook for the kingdom, but after giving everybody food poisoning, he was fired, and in leaving, he stole a magic book. And I'll get back to this in a second. Here's another kind of upwarp you'll see a lot. That enemy hit me. You run into a corner, you take damage, it shoves you to the top of the wall. That's really funny. Anyway, so Bad Custard stole a magic book, and he used this book to transform all the other knights of the kingdom into shadow knights that are, like, evil and their minds have been twisted. So, as of right now, Kingsley seems to be the only knight that the kingdom has anymore. So, in addition to becoming a true knight, helping these areas, we're eventually also going to need to deal with the shadow knights. And once we've dealt with all the shadow knights and helped restore them, then we can go defeat Bad Custard, the bad guy. This room, by the way, it's a big spiral mountain you run down, but if you know where the loading zone is, you can just jump into it. And this room is going to have a similar thing at the end of it. I'll point it out again when we get there. Playing with loading zones like that is pretty fun in this game. In addition to a lot of the out-of-bounds movement, there's a lot of that too. If you know where a loading zone is, you can jump to it from a height that would normally kill you, and you'll just be fine.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. We're coming up in just a second to the first boss, Gallagher the Pirate. Just as soon as we go through this loading zone. The bosses in this game are generally pretty straightforward. It's a lot of what you expect from video game bosses. They have some pattern they go through, and then they become vulnerable, and you can hurt them a little bit. Here he is. There is an interesting quirk with this, though. If I am turning as I hit Gallagher, sometimes, this is not consistent, but sometimes you can get extra hits on him. And this seems to be true of every boss. And, if you get enough extra hits on him, you can skip some of these phases where he's jumping off to platforms. Someone named Inconsistent did a TAS of this game where, for this fight in particular, it's so funny to watch. Kingsley runs up to Gallagher and, gets 6 hits on him immediately. Just completely tears through his health. So that fight was, 80 seconds or something. If you do it optimally, it's, less than 30 seconds. It's ridiculous how much time you can save with those double hits. And some of the bosses later, you can do that too, but Gallagher is the biggest one where it would save time. But we did it, we defeated the pirate, we're stealing his ship to go back to the Seatown entrance. And yeah, we've helped the people of Seatown. You can see this fellow in just a second here, Briny Jim, celebrating. He's doing a cool little dance.
Oh yeah, break it down. Dang.
The NPCs in this game are amazing. They're
still going.
I love all of them.
Yeah, they're great.
So we are out of Seatown. We're going to go talk to the King and Queen again. keep them updated on our progress. And they are going to let us go to the next area, Poor Luck Village. Poor Luck Village has a dragon problem. This dragon named Snuff has been stealing all of their food. The people are starving. Kingsley, you small child, you need to go help fight a dragon. But it's okay because after we defeated Gallagher and went and talked to Briny Jim, we were given this axe. You may notice in the bottom right, we have an axe instead of a dagger now. That's going to be a recurring thing. At the end of every level, we get a new weapon, a new item. It's not like there's stats shown anywhere in the game, but this axe is stronger than the dagger. There are enemies that if you hit with the axe, you'll beat them faster than if you hit them with the dagger. It's not entirely obvious because you can't actually backtrack at all. Like, I can't go through the first dungeon again. It's closed off now.
Just out of curiosity, is Kingsley given an age in this game?
I don't believe he is. I don't know anywhere that they explicitly say that.
Because in the prior game, we had an axe-wielding 8-year-old. I am just wondering whether Kingsley is one-upping Boku in that regard.
See.
I wouldn't be surprised, because, I mean, the way that he's kind of coded, the way that his appearance,
he looks so small.
8. Yeah, he's a baby.
He really does.
Let's see, I'm going to do some fact-checking. Let's see.
Yeah. So we're in the second dungeon now. This first room is actually funny in itself. There's this, like, fire gate that you're supposed to do some platforming to hit some buttons to turn off the fire. But you see there's a little gap in the fire. And if you just run forward and jump twice, you always make it through that gap. You're fine. It's completely free. This level also is going to have, I think, the most up warps of any level in the run. There's so many of them. Before we get to the first one, I am going to do a different little skip for the room coming up. If done optimally, this skip is going to save like a fraction of a second, but it looks so cool. Basically, there's a set path that you're supposed to walk through this room. As you walk through the path, these green lights will appear, and these little pillars that have items on them will come down, so you can get the items. But if you ever go off the path, all of the pillars rise again. What the devs did not expect is that it's not that hard to get on one of the pillars as it's coming back up. So we can just stand here and get onto this ledge that we're never supposed to. And then, oh, I missed the jump. Again, jumps in this are so tight. Let's give this one more try. Basically, you would jump there to go out of bounds and just jump straight to the last pillar. It's not worth going for even once, realistically. It's probably a waste of time, but it's a cool strat. I wanted to show it off. But we can do this the normal way, grab this pineapple key. I'm also going to pick up an extra life here. Ideally, I wouldn't need that life, but game overs are a little punishing, so we want to play it safe right now. So, I picked up a pineapple key in that room. I'm going to run forward here. You're going to see a pineapple door. We're not going to open that pineapple door. We don't need to. Much like the tutorial skip, we're going to run into this corner. We're going to just really get ourselves completely wedged in there, do a little backflip, we're on the wall. And then I'm going to try to skip another door here. This one's less important, but it's really nice if we can do it. Because when we enter this room, that door comes down to let an enemy in. And if we can jump past it, just like that, perfect,
nice.
We don't need to spend the grape key, and we get to save the grape key for later.
Let's go.
That one doesn't save a ton of time, but it just makes a lot of things. It's one of those skips that makes things both faster and safer. So it's perfect all around. Gonna do another enemy upwarp here. Like I said, we have so many of these through the run. Through this level in particular. We took a lot of damage on it, unfortunately, but we'll be able to get some more health soon. This room, I would love a big skip in. because the exit for this room is that door right there, and I have no way to get by it early. Instead, we need to go through this long path, go through a whole other extra room to get the key for it. This room has another green key, you can see right there. When I pick it up, it will look like I'm only holding one key, but the game does remember that I'm holding two, which is very convenient. Considering there is nowhere in the game that they really expect you to hold, that was unfortunate, hold more than one key at once, it's really nice that the devs programmed it like perfectly for us to use. Okay, let's try this again. Let's avoid the axes. Pick up that extra key. Gonna just push this guy out of the way, use the key, and then you'll see we used it, but we still have the green key. We're fine.
Nice.
In a sense, that spill I took in the lava was fortunate because it means we're at full health, so I don't need to stop and grab extra health. But we got the banana key, we can go through this door. There's an enemy on the other side of this door, and something you're not really going to see in this run is some enemies will drop these like big gray keys, and some of the chests around have locks. And those chests generally have like better items in them. But we just don't need any of that, really. Even casually, that's just optional. If you want to play really safe, you could get the key from that guy, and there's an extra life coming up that you could get. Oh, that's unfortunate. This is one of the harder up warps in the run. But yeah, the extra life that you could get with that key, I haven't really found it to be worth it. There we go.
Nice.
As we leave this room, we're gonna jump down into a teleporter. And you heard Kingsley wail there. That fall was far enough to kill us. And so after we come through the teleporter, Kingsley just immediately collapses. But we respawn right here, so it's not a big deal. We are going to pick up one more key in this room. It is a banana key. Again, we're saving that for later. And because we were able to skip that one grape door earlier, we have the grape key that we can use to just open this door right here. If we didn't have that, there is yet another up warp in this room we could do to get on top of that door, but we don't have to do that, so it's convenient.
Wow, this kid is powerful. You just took those swinging rocks like it's nothing.
He really is a champ. One last up warp for the road, hopefully. This one's a little finicky, but we got it. And now we're into the boss fight. And I know I just said one last. That was a lie. We're also going to do one in the boss fight here.
Oh.
This is Snuff the Dragon. This fight is pretty long and not easy. So we're just not going to do it. We can't just leave, however, because Snuff does drop an item that we need. So instead, we're going to come stand over this door so the door comes down. We're going to wait for Snuff to come over. He's going to follow us up here. And then Snuff is going to follow us down. And he did not expect that to happen. So when you fall out of bounds in this game, the game recognizes, hey, you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, and it just takes all your health, you lose a life. It also does that to enemies and bosses, which is...
Wow.
I have no idea why they programmed it that way, but yeah, so we guide Snuff out of bounds, he dies, we have the fork and knife item now.
That's amazing.
And yeah, we just don't need to do the fight. It's so bizarre that they made that choice, but
what other games would even do that? Like,
I have no idea.
Wow.
This room can be a bit of a pain. This is the conveyor belts that Snuff was using to bring all of the town's food to his dining room. There's only 2 stairs in this room, and so if you fall anywhere, it takes a long time to get back where you were going. But I did just make all of the hardest jumps. That's good. You also need to jump off of a box to get to one of the switches, so you are kind of locked by a cycle, but I did that basically perfectly. This is one of those rooms where you either do it perfectly or you lose like 30 seconds. But we got through it, it's very nice. I'm gonna pick up an extra life here, because I am a little bit lower on lives than I would like. One is not very many. And then we're gonna see the best NPC in the game. I want everybody to look at this NPC. His name is Tartrazine. Look at him. Look at that round boy. That is a mouse with the proportions of a beach ball. We love Tartrazine so much.
Very rotund, yes.
And unfortunately, that is the only time we get to see him. Say goodbye to Tartrazine, everybody.
No.
But that's okay. We've helped Poor Luck Village. We get to go back to the King and Queen and update them on our progress. Now, at this point, I could go fight one of the Shadow Knights. That blacksmith I just talked to gave me some gloves that gives me access to the Shadow Knight that's hanging out in Seatown. I'm going to do that much later, actually, because the green key that I took at the start of the game, if we enter the room again that key is from, there is a chance that the game will eat the key and we won't have it anymore. We don't really understand why that happens, but it's something we want to avoid, so we're not going to go back there until we've used the green key for what we want. But in the meantime, we're going to head over to the next people who need help. We're going to Root Beer Village, where the root beer seems to have been poisoned. Very scary stuff. All of the people in Root Beer Village appear confused, in maybe not exactly a sober state. It's not exactly clear what poisoning happened, but everyone here is not doing well. So, first thing, we're going to go to the only people in town that are doing well, the people in the coffee shop, because they don't drink root beer. They're all doing fine. Owner of the coffee shop is going to give us a mug of coffee, which we need to give to someone, so he'll let us through a door so that we can talk to someone who gives us a password. It's just a little mini trading quest before we can go to the level. This also ends up being one of the shortest levels in the game. We're going to the Root Beer Monastery, and it's short because it's not really supposed to be a dungeon. It's supposed to just be the basement of this monastery. So it's pretty small. It's just like 4 rooms. It's also the only one that has a hub room that you return to. You know, it's something, it's a little change of pace. It's nice. And we're going to hope that I do a trick decently well, because we do need to spend a life in this dungeon to do something. And we only have 2 lives left. There is an extra one I can pick up in the dungeon. If we game over, it's not that big a deal. We don't go back that far. But, you know, hopefully we avoid it. So, we go into the dungeon. What the monks told us is they know why the root beer's poisoned, and we need to go into the basement to get some magic herbs that they will use to, you know, fix the root beer. So there's this hub room that we're going into now, and 3 rooms on each side of it that will hold one of the herbs. There's one. It's in this big cage. This room has this big, like, sliding puzzle that you're supposed to do. It takes so long. It takes absurdly long. So instead we're going to do an up warp, classic, and then just walk backwards onto the herb. We got it. That's the dangerous thing.
Wow.
We have so many setups for getting that. I think everybody who has run this game has made their own setup for it to get it their consistent way. I'm going to play this a little safe. I am going to get an extra life in this room. It's not too far out of the way. There's just a chest over in a corner that you wouldn't normally go to that just has an extra life in it. Just, you know, might as well be a little safe. This room, the puzzle is really complicated. There's these platforms that have bugs on them, and you kick the bugs off, and that's the whole puzzle. Really tough. The tougher part of this, honestly, is just the platforming. You do need to line yourself up decently well. You can skip kicking that last bug off if you avoid it properly. There we go. Very nice.
Oh, we're getting
then-
some love for the music of this game in the chat at the moment.
The music is so good. The composer for this game is still working. I'm forgetting his name offhand, but I believe he did the music for Bloodborne too.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's
yeah.
a change of pace a little bit.
Right.
It's a bunch of composer. Let's have a look.
This is the last room where we need one of the herbs. We're hopefully going to get this guy, there he goes, to just jump off that ledge so that he'll be out of our way. And then there's some buttons. There's a little puzzle in this room to find the order of the buttons, but we're speedrunners, so we just know the right order. And then we go back to the hub area, and... oh no, what's this? Brother Tim, you all remember Brother Tim, I'm sure, the monk from the monastery. Well, it turns out he's Clarence Darklord Jr., this bat guy. The game is just like that. It does that kind of thing a lot. It's a very silly game. We're gonna do a similar thing to the snuff fight here, where we jump out of bounds and then just get Clarence to jump out of bounds, and it defeats him immediately. His fight is also so long if you do it normally. So it's very nice that we have these skips. I think we have skips for all of the longest bosses at this point, which is really convenient for us. But that is the end of Dungeon 3. We got through that pretty well. We're going to hand the herbs over to the, one of the good monks, Abbot Harry, who is going to give us a crossbow as a reward. Because we're a small child who helped him, so what better gift than a crossbow? Now, before we go back to the King and Queen to update them on our progress, we are going to go deal with one of the Shadow Knights. The first one we're going to fight. Generally, the premise, or the routine of the game, is you finish a level, you get a new weapon, and you get an item that lets you go fight one of the previous Shadow Knights. So we're going to go back to Porlock Village. This guy, Judas, is the Shadow Knight's name, has been terrorizing them. But now we have some boots, I think it is, that lets us... yeah, magic boots that lets us jump across this river to go fight him. I really wish we could just jump like that anywhere. But unfortunately, the magic boots only work in this one spot, I guess. But here he is, Judas the Minotaur. This fight isn't too bad. He just runs to, the corners as you hit him. Some of his attacks can do a decent chunk of damage. And if he takes an unfortunate path, like runs to an opposite corner when you're not ready for it, he might end up charging you before you're ready. And that can do a decent chunk of damage. Normally, I do this fight on the first try, but every once in a while he gets the better of me. But it looks like, yeah, that went fine. That was Judas.
Nice.
And you see we defeated Judas. He turns back into Sir Rufus, Knight of the Carrot Kingdom. That's going to be the recurring thing with the Shadow Knights. We get to defeat them, and we are saving them. We're not killing them, we are saving them. We're returning them to their natural state. But now that we have helped Sir Rufus, now we will go back to the King and Queen. So you may be wondering, okay, so we fought a pirate, they had us fight a dragon to help a starving town. They had us solve a poisoning mystery. What's the fourth village that Kingsley's gonna go help? And it is a magical place called Aphasia, where the wizard Cornflower had his jacket stolen. And that's, he's a powerful wizard, so I guess politics, the King and Queen want to go send their current best knight to help him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cornflower is a pretty cool guy. He's a blue sheep. I'm a big fan of sheep. If it's not obvious, sheep are real good. So, you know what? I'm happy to help out Cornflower here.
Yeah.
Dungeon 4 is the longest dungeon by a lot. Oh, by so much. Oh my goodness. It's also the hardest one by miles. Here's Cornflower, by the way. I'm actually going to take a deliberate game over at the start of Dungeon 4. I said that they were pretty punishing. If you lose all of your lives, it sends you back to the start of the dungeon that you're in. If you lose all of your lives in a boss, it sends you back to the start of the boss, which is fine. Since we're at the start of this dungeon, I'm just gonna lose 2 lives deliberately, make the whole thing safer, because I then respawn with 5 lives, and it just makes sense to do it this way. If I was going for a new world record, I wouldn't do that, but, you know, for the sake of safely actually finishing this run on time, I think that is more than worth doing.
It's been going pretty smoothly so far. Like, I think folks have been enjoying how smooth it's been.
Yeah, I've been pretty happy with this so far. So, Dungeon 2, I said, had so many up warps. Dungeon 4 has a few, but the big thing with Dungeon 4 is we're finally going to start using all these keys we've been saving up. You see, I had 4. This dungeon is longest in the speedrun, and is even longer in playing casually. If you need to get all of the keys, then, it takes ages. So many of these rooms, like using the crossbow, there's some target practice stuff to do, there's these windy maze rooms. It takes ages to get through this dungeon normally. We're gonna do a couple of up warps to get through these rooms. Not fall out of bounds, let's go. Okay.
Nice.
That's one of the harder ones in the run also. I'm happy to get that.
I was about to say, that's the one that we saw you do in practice before hitting the run, so nicely done.
Yeah. This room, again, takes like 2 minutes to get through, but we have that pineapple key from earlier, so we just ignore it. This room is actually really short, but I have that cherry key from earlier, so we ignore it. It's... After you play through this game normally, it is so satisfying to be able to just breeze through a bunch of this dungeon by having all these extra keys saved up. That's the last key storage we're going to use. That green key is going to be used a little later. We're going to skip this room with another up warp. We're going to do our best to not accidentally fall off this wall, which I have done a few times in the past. Okay, very good. And now we finally get to use the crossbow that we were given. We're going to be using this for a few things in this dungeon. There's a few rooms that need it. A few, like, targets that'll trigger walls to come down or platforms to move, that kind of thing. We can also use it to shoot some enemies. Unfortunately, it's not good against bosses. Bosses almost entirely can just deflect crossbow shots. But the random enemies we see around, we can snipe at them from a distance. And then one more up warp here. This is... Like, the up warp itself is really easy. Getting into this wall is strangely difficult. Not all walls are built equally in this game. Yeah, you see, as I turn, Kingsley gets, like, pushed out, and we can't have that happen. We need to stay in the wall. There we go. Perfect. There we go.
Nice.
And we're gonna wait on the cycle. The next room is very long and very straightforward, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the history of this speedrun, I think. Because this game was first run quite a while ago. I think first runs were 2016, 2017, sometime around there. And they had almost no skips in them. Until last year, a runner by the name of Rad Ringtail picked up the game, and when looking around at it, he found that there was an old TAS Videos forum thread about the game. And Tassers of the past, I think this was like 2015 they were talking about it, some Tassers of the past had looked into the game and had found all kinds of things. The upwarps, the damage strats, a bunch of things that we use now. And Rad looked at this and thought, oh, this stuff looks so cool. I bet a lot of it's really hard, though. I wonder if I can find setups for it. And he tried them, and they're so easy. It's so easy to do all of it.
Let's go.
Like, there's a few things here and there that are tough, but for the most part, it's really easy to do most of these tricks. So, Rad started doing that. I only found out about this game a few years ago. A friend of mine was streaming it, just playing it casually. We looked into the speedrun back then, and it didn't look that interesting. But fortunately, that same friend, one named Lucas, happened to be watching Rad's streams one day. He happened to notice someone was streaming Kingsley speedruns, and he saw what the run had evolved into, all of the cool skips that you get to do. And he knew that I was kind of interested, so he mentioned it to me. And it's so much better now than it was. I picked up the game. Fortunately, Rad, in addition to, implementing a bunch of new tricks and taking the record down a bunch, Rad was kind enough to make a tutorial for the game. It's like a 2-hour video. It's such a good tutorial. It's one of the best tutorials I've seen, honestly. I think it was about 6 hours between me playing the game for the first time and finishing a run. So if anybody is interested in like 12-hour challenge type stuff, use Rad's tutorial and try this game. It's very good.
That's awesome.
And then, yeah, with all of the skips that Rad found, and then once I came in, I found a few more things. We took something like 15, 20 minutes off of the record in a few months. There's just so much that you can skip. It's very nice. We're getting fairly close to the end of this dungeon now. This is the roller room, as we call it, for obvious reasons. There's just a key in every corner. You get them, you use the keys in the center to bring the stairs down. Oh, it's a little tough to use keys sometimes, because it is the same button to use a key as it is to attack. And so sometimes if you have the crossbow out, you'll just start shooting at the lock and accomplishing nothing. Okay, now... this next room, how much health do I have? 3 hearts. I need to take a death, because I need to do another upwarp here. And this is the only one in the run where I can only do it on the second try. And the enemy that... actually, I'll just do it this way. The enemy that does it, his attacks deal 1.5 hearts of damage. So you need more than 3 hearts to do this upwarp. But even with that death, this is still going to save time over doing this room normally, because this room is extremely long, extremely vertical, a lot of very slow-moving platforms. We're just gonna gently push this guy up. I keep using my shield so his attacks don't damage me. That should be good. And then we jump again, and we're at the top of the room. It's scary because we need to take so much damage, and that one takes so much time to set up. But the upwarp itself is actually super easy. I was worried about when I started implementing that one that it would be a problem, but it really has not been so far. We're also going to do a neat little upwarp in that corner to get to the exit. And now we're at the boss of Dungeon 4. We got through the scariest dungeon. We're going to switch back to the sword. This is Reggie. He's the one who stole Cornflower's coat, I guess it's probably a robe. Reggie teleports around. We're going to just hope that he doesn't do that too much, because every time he does, we need to go find him again. Yeah, this wasn't too bad. That was a perfectly satisfying fight. We're gonna see a wall come down, and we're gonna see a big ol' yellow rat guy behind it, that's Bad Custard. That's the big bad of the game. He's hanging out here to taunt Kingsley. We can't fight him right now, though. He's just going to wander off. We'll get to him soon enough. Don't worry about that. So, we're out of Dungeon 4. Honestly, massive relief. That's the scariest part of the game. We need to return this coat to Cornflower in his book house. You may be thinking book house? Do you mean like a library or a bookstore? No, it's just a big house shaped like a book. Cornflower is, of course, a massive nerd, and so he lives in a book. As all nerds, including me, wish we could, I'm sure. Normally, we would need to go talk to the king and queen before we could get to the Shadow Knight of this area. But if we carefully jump across this river here, and then jump up the shore, this takes a few tries. It's a little finicky. Hold on. Oh, very nice. Okay. I'm moderately surprised I got that on the first try. That is... Jumping across the river is not very hard. Jumping up the shore is not easy. If you basically want to be getting frame perfect X-presses every time you jump up there, or else you lose a bunch of height. And as you saw, I had to do a bunch of them in a row, so it's a bit of a relief to have that out of the way. But this is the fourth Shadow Knight of the game, and this is also what we've been saving the green key for. The Shadow Knights don't really have dungeons attached to them, but a couple of them have like a room before the boss. And this one, you're supposed to hit some buttons and push this around and eventually get a green key, but we have that green key way back from the start of the game. We can just use it right here and not need to do this room. And now we are into the Gustav fight. Gustav, similar to Reggie, can move around, or we can stun lock him. Like you saw, I just did nearly half of Gustav's health, all right there. If we're lucky, we can beat Gustav without him moving at all. I don't think I've done that yet. I think this is about the best fight I've had, actually. That was extremely good luck with Gustav. If you're unlucky, it'll be like the Gallagher fight again, where you hit him like once or twice and then he jumps away, and then once or twice and he jumps away, and it takes ages. But that was very, very good luck. The next Shadow Knight is going to have one of the biggest time saves that I found, actually. The next one is a vulture by the name of Oscar. We're going to go back to Root Beer Village to go fight him. Oscar the Vulture is meant to be an auto-scroller. You're supposed to use the crossbow because, you know, you got the crossbow from Root Beer Village, so of course they want you to use it on the neighboring boss. And the way the fight is set up is Oscar will go grab an egg from one of his nests, and once he's like flying at you with the egg, then he's vulnerable and you can hit him with the crossbow. However, if you can get to Oscar at any time, he's not invulnerable to the other weapons. So you can just start wailing on him with the sword. There aren't any corners in this room we can jump up like we have in the past, but we can use Oscar himself to push us up a wall. We're gonna wait for him to grab the first egg. He's gonna start flying at us. We're gonna run over here, and we're gonna just hope that this fight goes well. Very good, we got the initial up warp. Oh, almost. We almost got him in one cycle. One of the spiders from one of his eggs started attacking us, but that's fine. We did a bunch of damage to him. That's good enough. We got him on the second cycle. That fight is well over a minute faster than how you're supposed to do this fight normally. It is such a relief to have such a big time save there. Also, just like in terms of the pacing of the speedrun, it's really exciting to be close to the end of the run, and then all of a sudden you have this like minute and a half auto scroller boss. It's nice to, keep it exciting there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have helped all 4 areas. We have defeated 3 of the Shadow Knights. 1 Shadow Knight left before we can fight him. We do need to go have a chat with the King and Queen because, as I said, we've helped all 4 areas. So Kingsley is now a true knight. They're going to have a little ceremony celebrating Kingsley.
Oh.
He did it. He had a life goal, and after about 45 minutes, he met that life goal. Well done, Kingsley.
He's so clever.
Yeah. I love the juggler in the background. I like how he claps when all of the balls are in the air.
Very
Like I
fun.
said, all the NPCs in this game, they're great. There are issues I have with like some of the gameplay choices when playing this game casually. But in terms of just design, this game is perfect. It's beautiful, it's adorable, it's well written. I really love so much of this game. Okay, so we're going back to the castle basement. We're gonna go back to Seatown to face the first, or in our case, final Shadow Knight. This one is a little scary because there's a glitch where he becomes invincible. It can be avoided, but it's hard to avoid. We're gonna hope for the best here. Also, look at how strong Kingsley is. Just pulling on this winch to pull this massive anchor towards the shore.
Off the ground as well? Wow.
Yeah.
That's leg power, not just like... Wow.
Right. Like, we've been joking Kingsley is this child that people keep giving weapons to, but after seeing that, like, yeah, no, he should be a true knight.
We're a witness to a god here. Like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here is Rex the T-Rex. He has lightning powers, of course, as all T-Rexes do.
Yeah.
He teleports around, and the issue with invincibility is when he starts a teleport, he becomes invincible. You can't hit him while he's teleporting. But once you hit him under a certain damage threshold, he stops teleporting. And you can hit him under that threshold as he starts a teleport. So it interrupts, he stops teleporting, and then he's just invincible and you can't do anything about it. But it didn't happen here. We're good. We got through it. We are happy. We saved Sir William. That's the last Shadow Knight. Now we can finally go on our way to face Bad Custard. We need to have one more small conversation with the King and Queen, so they'll open the gates for us. But yeah, we are coming up to the end of the run pretty soon. I guess I'll get some shout-outs out of the way while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mostly to just the whole Kingsley community. Lucas for introducing me to this game and also pointing out that the speedrun got interesting. Rad for finding that so many cool tricks are RTA viable and making that amazing tutorial. Again, I'm just going to say this one more time. If anybody's doing a 12-hour challenge at some point, trying to learn and do a speedrun in 12 hours, this game is actually pretty good for that. Inconsistent, the Tasser. There's a few other people that have been learning the run recently. I do hope that they continue to. Because here's another thing about this run, is Rad found those tricks to be, viable. He implemented a bunch of stuff. He was not that interested in grinding the game. That's just not something he really wanted to do. I also am not someone who grinds speedruns down a lot. I like jumping around between games too much, so the world record right now, it can go down by, minutes.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a great game. I just don't play one game that often. So, basically what I'm saying is anybody could come in and smash the record if they want to devote a little time to it. here we are in the final boss, Bad Custard. We're gonna wail on him a little bit. He's gonna teleport. We're gonna wail on him. He's gonna teleport. You get the gist. At the top of this level, he's gonna give us the runaround and walk out to the edge of a plank. And when we hit him while he's on that plank, that will be time. That'll be the end of the run.
Gotcha.
So we're coming up on it. I don't remember exactly how long this fight takes, but, we're coming up on it soon. I mentioned those double hits against Gallagher, by the way. You can do that kind of thing against Bad Custard as well, and it can really mess with his AI if he has different amounts of health than he expects to. I suspect that if we could do that consistently, there is a massive time save we could have on this boss, but we can't do it consistently, so that is still just a dream. Something to figure out someday. I think at this point, we have a lot of really great skips for the levels, and most of the time save that we could still find would be on strategies for the bosses. I think if someone really wants to dive in and find a lot of time save for this game, that's where to look right now.
Okay.
Let's see, we're coming up to it. We hit him here. Now he's going to run around. Unfortunately, he goes around like 75% of the arena, so we need to follow him for a while. I think it's going to be...
somewhat fast about it.
He is. I think it's this one? Yeah, this plank. Gonna follow him to the end of it. We're gonna give him a smack. And that's time.
GG.
Bad Custard falls into the soup he was making, I guess. They never said that was like a potion or anything. That might just be his dinner. But he's gonna fall in. We get the book. No ending cutscene, just credits. We did it. Well done, Kingsley. Everyone celebrates. One other thing that I want to mention about this run, one last thing, is the category we called any percent. This is also 100%. What you just saw is pretty much everything there is to do in this game.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate, because it looks like, there's these big towns you go to, you might think like, oh, there's side quests, there's other items you can get. No, this is it. This is the whole game. There are other NPCs you can talk to like have funny dialogues with them, but that's it. We did all of the main gameplay. So any percent and 100%, sometimes those are the same thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, that's all I have.
Well, thank you so much. I have learned. I've done a lot of learning. I know that the sort of schedule for this show has got later in the evening, so it can be harder for me to kind of like stay in the zone when catching these runs. But I've been learning a lot. Folks, if you missed the first run, of course this will get highlighted and be put up on our YouTube. Games Done Quick. Xando, before we sign off going places for the night, have you got, you've mentioned your shout outs. Now's your chance to shout out yourself. You said that you don't really try and, grind all on one game. What's the current thing that you're on? Yeah,
so if there is one game that I were to call my main game, it would be Spyro the Dragon, the first one. Okay. It is the one game that I have easily spent more time on than any other. But other than that, I just really like jumping between PS1 games mostly. PS1 and sometimes PS2. I might go for another Kingsley PB in the near future.
Okay.
Other than that, I've been trying to work on my backlog some. I have a shelf full of PS1 games behind me that I've played maybe a third of, so you could expect some more of that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, folks, that's been Going Places. Make sure you follow Xando Toaster for whatever's going to be next, whatever lovely PlayStation action is going to be next. We are not done on Hotfix tonight, so Going Places is wrapped up. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, but we're going to be throwing it over to Passion Project. This is Amber Cyclin's show. It's showing off just, various things around speedrunning that people have really, really poured their love and time into and kind of made communities out of. This season, they're looking more so at indie games, and we're going to be seeing some sort of Flash-inspired games. If Rocket Bowl means anything to anyone, then I will be amazed. This is a very niche. I think it only just got a leaderboard the other day. Must Include is going to be showing that off. A game called Demon Turf, which I know nothing about. And then a game that I'm sure a lot of people will know about, the Fancy Pants Adventure. Witherman is going to be taking you through that. So do stick around. The evening is far from over when it comes to Hotfix. And yeah, do stick around. And yeah, see you in a couple.